Tonight's the nights, boys. Let's do it for Chris. We beat them last week, and we're gonna beat them again tonight.
You know, when you look through the times of time itself, you only seem to wonder. There's one date that always sticks out in your mind. April 12th, 2003. Was known as probably one of the most memorable moments in Ring of Honor history. Everybody remembers it for the match of all matches, Bryan Danielson versus Paul London. But you see, I kind of see it a different way. Yeah, I see it as the day that Danny Muff joined the Prophecy. And that was a glorious day. That was an emotional day, because that's the day I turned my career around. And throughout that time, it's been a big, long, hard roller coaster ride for myself and the Prophecy. We've had a lot of highs and lows, a lot of ups and downs, but no higher than last week in Massachusetts. Daniel and the Prophecy stood on the top of the peak. We walked the walk, baby. We beat the tag team champions, and for the first time, me and you became tag team champions. We beat Pumpkin Cabana at their own game, and for 1 hour, we were the Bull of the Woods. But 1 hour later, it all got flushed down the toilet. And I gotta admit, as good as it felt winning those titles, it felt that bad losing them. It really sucked. So I'm gonna say tonight, Whitmer, don't nod your head at me. Because I'm getting right in your mug. No, I'm getting right in your mug.
Is that right?
You ain't gotta like me. I know you don't like me. And I don't like you either. But we proved something last week. We proved that when we're on our game, when we're working together, we do what Daniel said that we could do. We're the top dogs in the yard. And they look at me. And there ain't nobody else that can beat us at our game. We're gonna do this one more time. Tonight has just become the most important night in the history of the Prophecy. Damn it, because I'm gonna go on record as saying, if it doesn't happen tonight, we're in a must-win situation. All of us. Because if it doesn't happen tonight, I never thought I'd say this, but this very well could be the death of the Prophecy. I'm finished.
Wait, what do you mean you're
The what?
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know. What the...
Hello, and welcome to Good Times, Great Memories. I am your host, and this is the home of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. That's right, Classic Colt Cabana coming live from Chicago. Beautiful shot. I think we're in a dungeon somewhere. I'm not really sure, but we're going to get right to the meaty, the juicy, the dirty, the chunky of it. We're getting... Trent Acid, what's going on? Good to see you. You're doing double time here. This is your second time at Good Times, Great Memories. You know the gig. You know the gig. Have a seat. Let's talk. Let's rap.
You're a very good man. I don't care what they say about you. You're in my book.
Who says what about me?
Never mind.
Okay, well then I'm going to get down to the questions, okay? You, my friend, are one of the greatest tag teams of all times, but now you've realized that Colt Cabana and Second City Saints are the champions, and you're saying, hey, it's time to go singles, right? That's what I'm getting. That's a scoop that Gary McPetta told me.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on that? I know it's a big word.
Well, basically right now I'm taking out some time for Trent. You know, this is tea time. This is Trent time.
Trent time.
I already proved I'm a part of the best tag team in the world. No offense.
None taken.
I mean, you are part of the tag team
Sure
champions.
am.
But that's not where my focus is. My focus is on me right now, and I plan on proving lot to Ring of Honor.
Well, yeah. Well, according to Trent time here, and this is Mountain Time, Trent Mountain Time.
That's the South Philly Japan time.
Yes, and I have that right here. It's time to talk about a very important topic that these people at home have been wondering about, and that is somebody dropping a deuce in the Carnage Cruise bag. Yeah, somebody's dropping the Browns off at the Super Bowl, right? Or dropping the kids off at the pool, or I heard about it. And you seem to be the bearer of all the news. You seem to know what's going on. I mean, was it duty? Was it like corn in there? Was it a little Rhea?
It was awesome. It was awesome. The Carnage Crew, look at them. They're a mess. They deserve everything they get, man. Of course I know who did it.
All right, well, let's hear it. Here's the first on Good Times, Great Memories. Who did it?
Do I look like the kind of guy that would be a rat? I'm Italian.
I've heard about you and rats, bro.
Hey, listen. There's a difference between rats and a rat. Okay? I would not tell who did it. Why? What kind of man would that make?
Yo, Trent! Yo. No, we heard you know what's going on. You tell us what's going on. You know what's up, man. You tell us who did it.
Yeah, listen.
No, this has been going on way too long. If you have some info, we want to know what it is.
Yo, forget that, man. Forget that, man.
No,
if he knows, we'll take him all right now, right?
Want to take him out now?
No.
We're going to take him out now.
Hold on a second.
No, just make sure those two little bastards show up to the damn ring.
They're here tonight.
They're here?
They're here.
They're in this building?
They're here.
Bring them to the ring.
Well, just say we'll
Bring them to the ring?
Come on, yeah. All right, we'll make
Wipe
sure
that
they're
smile
in
off
the
your
ring.
face, punk.
Yeah.
Bring them to the ring tonight.
I'll see you guys there.
Oh, we got it.
Man, I feel sorry for you guys. You're cool. You all right, man? Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Are we okay?
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of those.
No, don't
guys.
worry, dude. I got back. We're cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah, like I said, I got plans.
Well, let's
It's tea time, man.
tea time.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's time for me to leave.
Okay.
Thanks for coming to Good Times, Great Memories. I'm Colt Cabana.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The date is May 22nd. The name of the show is Generation Next. I'm Chris Lovey, joined once again by wrestling historian Mark Nolte. It's great to have you back, Mark.
It's great to be here. What an exciting card we're going to see today.
We are going to see 8 competitors in matches chosen at random, and those men are either going to become stars tonight or they're going to fail. Now, we do have the matches that are going to comprise Generation Next that were just chosen backstage at random. The fans at the end of the night will be given ballots. They'll be able to vote for who impressed them the most, and of course, whoever does best in that voting, they're going to have careers here in ROH. The matches for tonight, in addition to tag team scramble that we're about to witness, it's going to be Jack Evans versus Roderick Strong, Alex Shelley versus Izzy, Hydro versus Austin Aries, and Jimmy Jacobs versus Nigel McGuinness. But right now, we're going to kick it off with a tag team scramble. The Christopher Street Connection coming to the ring right now with Ariel against Dunn and Marcos, and the third team will be representatives from Special K.
Can I call the 1-800 number 2 to vote?
Oh, we've still got to set that up. We're not quite that advanced yet, Mark. So maybe we'll have some voting on ROHWrestling.com. Who knows? But we are going to kick it off right now with this tag team scramble. And some new outfits there by the Christopher Street Connection. Very interesting stuff. Buffy showing it off.
Adrian Street is rolling in his grave and he's not even dead.
Well, there you see Mace and Buffy, the charismatic, controversial Christopher Street. And you've seen ROH before, you know what they're setting up to do.
Chris, is this normal for the gay community to act like this in public?
Well, what's not normal is what's going on right now. We have Roderick Strong in there, Austin Aries, Alex Shelley, and Jack Evans. And Roderick just dumped Buffy with that suplex. Austin Aries, I don't know what's going on here, with a brainbuster on Mace.
I guess they don't approve of the kiss.
Now, the 4 are supposed to be in the Generation Next series tonight. Their matches have already been chosen at random. The fans are going to vote for who impresses them the most.
Oh, God, is there anything scarier than the sight of Alex Shelley with a microphone?
Wow. There's not going to be a tag team scramble match. And furthermore, there's not going to be any voting amongst you fans either. Now forgive me,
No voting.
You see, we have no need to fight each other.
What?
We are the best athletes in this company now. We are Generation Next. I am Alex Shelley. I do have talent on loan from God. This is Roderick Strong, the Messiah of the Backbreaker. Let me introduce to you Jack Evans, the man who can defy gravity without even trying. And finally, we have the most explosive athlete in this company, bar none, Austin Aries. These votes, they're not going to be necessary. They belong right here.
He's throwing away the ballots. I don't get it.
This is Ring of Honor. This isn't a place for freaks. This isn't a place for kids on the ring.
They already beat up the Christopher Street connection.
Who else am I talking about, you cockroach moron? We are done and worthless. If you think that we came here and set the ring up today so you can take our spot on the show, you got another thing coming. Because we're not going to take it anymore.
Dunn and Marcos are standing up to them. And these four individuals have taken care of the Christopher Street connection and Dunn and Marcos. What's going on with this tag team scramble? What's going on with Generation Next?
This is a hijacking.
You know, you said that right, Mark. I think they hijacked the Generation Next name.
They hijacked the first match.
I think they've hijacked the whole concept of the show.
Bring on the smoke. Turn up the lights. Can you feel the energy? I said.
And here comes Special K. They're supposed to be scheduled for this tag team scramble, so they're just, I guess, making their ring entrance as scheduled here. But I guess the format of the show is completely thrown out the window. I mean, am I right? Does it seem like they've taken the name of the show, Generation Next, and they've hijacked it for this new group or faction?
Hijack, co-op, whatever it is, what we were expecting to happen is about to change. And notice whenever there's confusion running rampant, here comes Special K.
Hydro saying he's not feeling the party. Izzy and Dixie, they don't look like they're in a party mood. Angel Trust still has that neck brace on. He took maybe the most hellacious move I've ever seen in wrestling with that pal driver off the top of the scramble cage through two tables during the At Our Best show. And he's still suffering from an injured neck. And Special K is coming to the ring. They're supposed to be out here for a scramble. Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, Alex Shelley, and Jack Evans. They ruined this opening segment. They said they're not going to wrestle each other. Shelley threw the ballots in the garbage that the fans were supposed to vote for, used to vote for it at the end of the night to determine who impressed them the best. I'm very confused right now.
Well, we have a bell, we have a referee, and we have a signal to wrestle.
Well, you might as well just take that format, Mark, and throw it completely out the window. because we have a tag team match right here. It looks like we have Special K against, well, I guess this new faction's called Generation Next.
Yeah, I think we're going to be calling them a lot of names before the night's over.
It looks like we have Jack Evans, Roderick Strong, Austin Aries in the ring against Special K and Dixie, who's in the ring, and Izzy and Angel Dust on the outside, and Dixie's firing those fists on Austin Aries. Nice reversal. Nice floating swinging DDT by Dixie.
Well, how embarrassing is this going to be if they come out here, shoot their mouth off, and get beat in 2 minutes?
Well, these guys obviously had some kind of a plan. Alex Shelley's been talking about this night for a long time. He obviously had some sort of plan for tonight, and this is it. They have hijacked the Generation Next name. It's supposed to be the name of the show. Oh, what a kick by Angel Dust. And how's he wrestling with that neck brace?
Hey, kid, maybe somersaults aren't such a great idea when you're in a neck brace. Well, again, maybe wrestling's not such a great idea when you're in a neck brace.
But maybe that neck is as injured as Bob Orton's arm was all those years.
No, Bob Orton's arm really was injured all those years.
Well, you would know, Mark. And that, if his neck wasn't injured, that neck breaker will definitely injure it. As Austin Aries now viciously trying to rip that neck brace right off the neck of Angel Dust. And yes, and he hits him with it. Unbelievable. I'm still kind of in shock out of what we've seen. I was really looking forward to this Generation Next, a series of single matches between these guys, with the fans voting for who impresses them the most, and I guess we are definitely not going to see that tonight. Instead, we're seeing these four brash, cocky, young superstars in the making, not paying their dues, looking to take the glory right now. Jack Evans in there, and beautiful vertical suplex.
Jack Evans, one of the most controversial young stars in the sport.
He is definitely one of the most dazzling high flyers, maybe the best high flyer in the wrestling business today, without a doubt the most spectacular. There's no telling what he's going to do when he flies. And Angel Dust mounted a nice offense, trying to take him over in a pinning combination. Jack Evans blocks it though.
Variation of the Oklahoma roll.
And they got a cover. No, not enough. Ref Gary Moore on top of it in this impromptu 6-man tag team match. Another cover. And Jack Evans got to be a little bit dizzy after taking this as he's getting spun around one more time.
Why does it not surprise me that Special K would use a hold generated in Oklahoma?
There you see Jack Evans firing on Angel Dust. Angel Dust ducks under. Oh, nails a nice kick. Takes Jack Evans right out of his boots. And Angel Dust does need that tag.
Now, how many people does Generation Next have in their corner for this tag match?
They only have Alex Shelley in their corner. It's only 4 individuals out of there. There were supposed to be 8 in the Generation Next series, but it doesn't look like that's happening tonight. And Izzy now, oh, look at that moonsault drop kick. And Jack Evans is down. Here's the cover. Roderick Strong with a save.
You notice how Alex Shelley comes off and shoots off his mouth, but then the other 3 guys have to wrestle?
This might be part of the plan by Alex Shelley. And Izzy now taking over with that suplex. Jack Evans needs the tag, and he does. Here comes Roderick Strong. Strong, very impressive last week in 6-Man Mayhem at the Round Robin Challenge.
Or as he likes to refer to himself as, the Messiah of the backbreaker.
He does show a lot of varieties of that backbreaker, and that's a vicious chop right there.
Roderick Strong, a star not only here for ROH, but for a lot of promotions in the Deep South.
This is only Roderick Strong's second main show for ROH. He did debut at Do or Die, which was an afternoon card on March 13th. Now, excuse me, Do or Die 2, and he just tosses Izzy right into the corner.
Well, there's a new variation of a backbreaker. Just throw a guy back first into the turnbuckles.
That takes a lot of power right there by Roderick Strong. Izzy now needs the tag in a bad way. Special K, they've been on hard times lately. They took a beating last week in Boston. Dixie losing to Josh Daniels, Izzy and Hydro unable to win in the 6-Man Mayhem. And before that, they missed a couple of shows after getting their asses handed to them in Scramble Cage 2. And what's Roderick doing here? Oh, Izzy counters it into a head scissors takedown. Nicely done by Izzy. Izzy, he was supposed to be in Generation Next. He's supposed to be wrestling Alex Shelley tonight. Instead, we get this six-man tag, an impromptu match after this show's been turned upside down by Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, Jack Evans, and Roderick Strong.
So exactly what does happen to the Generation Next matches?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to watch and see what happens tonight. Beautiful twisting plancha by Izzy. And look who's going into the ring, Jack Evans. Oh, when he goes airborne, you know something special is going to happen. Look at this crowd raised to its feet. They know Jack Evans is going to do something spectacular. Oh, Izzy cuts him off, though. No. Jack, go behind. Izzy lands on his feet. Izzy now grabs Jack. Another reversal. Oh, Jack takes out the leg of Izzy. Oh, dumps him on his head with that Huna Karana.
Reverse Hurricanrana, which is actually more devastating that way.
You guys are treating this like a scramble. Come on, you.
Hydro watching on. He's looking more serious by the day. You have to wonder what he's thinking, because he was supposed to be wrestling at Austin Aries tonight.
Well, all of the guys that were planning on this, like the two guys from Special K, they've just gotten cheated out of an opportunity.
Well, they have an opportunity right here in this six-man to shut these guys up. I mean, obviously, these four had some sort of a plan going into the night. Beautiful elbow by Aries, and Dixie makes a save for Angel Dust. Special K, they really need a win tonight. Aries slammed to the mat, but there's Roderick Strong. Strong now with that forearm, whips it, Dixie in. It's really breaking down in this one. Not much control from the referee. Oh, there's one of those devastating backbreakers. What about the Christopher Street connection and Donna Marcos? They were taken out altogether.
You know, I guess they were here just to set up the ring.
Unbelievable. And Izzy with the springboards off with a blockbuster. And Roderick now, no, yeah, there's a cover. Jack Evans right there for the save.
There's not been a lot of tempo or flow in this match to this point.
No, well, it's hard to do that when you don't even have this as a scheduled match. This is impromptu, this is crazy, this is wild, and there's no telling what's going to happen as we have all six men battling right now. Roderick Strong with Angel Dust in the middle, and Special K knocked off the corners there. 450, backbreaker. 630 by Evans, triple cover. And a triple pin by Generation Next.
And that is making a statement.
Wow, Mark, I couldn't have said it better myself. These guys have made a statement tonight. They are not going to settle for climbing the ladder, for trying to impress the fans. They are going to make their spot, and they are not going to follow any rules to do it. We have a renegade group on our hands. The show was supposed to be called Generation Next, and they have taken that name and hijacked it. And hold on, Shelly's got the mic again.
You rich Raver kids crack me up. You know, it's just like I thought. You don't have a real wrestler in your group. Nothing. You've got nothing.
Hydro just said, try me.
All right, let's do the damn thing, Hydro.
And Hydro is not going to be denied his opportunity. He's been getting more and more serious lately, and he just challenged Alex Shelley to a match, and wow, I can't wait to see this one. Talk about what could be a great pure wrestling match right here.
On Hydro is shaking off the traditional handshake here, which Alex Shelley offered.
Well, Special K, they have no respect for anything. They never respect the code of honor. And we have a knuckle lock to begin it right here. Maybe Hydro will start getting some respect.
Well, that's the most interesting variation I've seen. He's standing on the hand, then applies a three-quarter Nelson, almost into an abdominal stretch, works his way out of it. Now Hydro takes him down and applies an overhand wrist lock.
And Alex Shelley, he definitely comes up with one creative and effective submission move after another. You really have to watch this individual. He's impressed in ROH. He's had some good matches. I mean, he's been in a couple of scrambles that were real good. The Jimmy Jacobs match at the Last Stand, many consider that the show stealer. The Matt Sticker matches. And it looks like he's tired of waiting to climb the ladder. And he obviously had a plan because he's been talking about Generation Next tonight for quite a while now. So I guess if this is the plan, I guess if they really establish themselves. And of course, but Alex Shelley needs to score the victory here to really solidify this group as a faction to watch here.
Well, his win over Matt Stryker last week got him into the ROH top 5. As now we're looking.
Yeah, he's ranked number 3 right now. That's a pretty high ranking. Alex Shelley has definitely been patient and paying his dues here in Ring of Honor. I guess that patience has run out. And look at that stretching hydro.
Almost a variation of the surfboard there. And now Alex Shelley double toe hold.
Hydro trying to get to the ropes, it appears, struggling. Now Shelley going for a chin lock while he's got those legs grapevine.
Double toe hold, double chin lock combination. Almost lets Hydro out of that. Shelley obviously looking for something else.
Look at Hydro though. He is showing he is not intimidated as he just springs up to his feet. That's basically non-verbally saying it's going to take more than that to put me down.
Did you notice Hydro didn't check with the other members, Special K, before he went in there and made that challenge?
Well, I think the other members of Special K, they've gone back to the locker room. They're a little beat up right now.
Notice the rest of Generation Next is still supporting Alex Shelley.
Well, I guess that's easy when you didn't have to take a 630, a 450, and that backbreaker by Roderick Strong. That's what sent the other members of Special K to the locker room.
Good point.
This Generation Next faction, oh, Shelley almost pinned there. All it takes is 3 seconds. But this Generation Next faction, a renegade faction, playing by their own rules, are definitely looking to make a statement right here at the beginning of the night.
Shelley has been looking for some form of the STF all night, and here he's caught with the arm bar and goes into the ropes to break it. Alex Shelley, what do you have to say to talk 3 other egomaniacs into following your lead?
I don't know. We're going to have to get Gary Michael Capetta, maybe Sean Price on this to get us some answers.
Why? Because they understand egomaniacs?
They're the ones who get the scoops around here.
High hip toss, supine kick, and running double forearm, the cover by Hydro. Shelley kicks out. Hydro, we were talking about making a statement earlier. This is a statement match for Hydro.
This could definitely be a breakout match for Hydro. You heard the crowd. They're behind Hydro in this one. There was that Hydro chant. As soon as he stepped into the ring, they know he has all the potential in the world. We know he has all the potential in the world. It's only a matter of time until he realizes it, and that time could come right here.
You know what? Daryl Royal defined his potential. You haven't done it yet.
Maybe he'll do it right here if he can defeat the number 3 man in the top 5 rankings, Alex Shelley. That'll be very impressive. Easily the biggest win of Hydro's career.
No, if Alex Shelley has put together this group, does this mean this is 3 people that he doesn't have to wrestle and he doesn't have to worry about?
I guess so. I mean, that's what he said. He said they're not going to wrestle each other tonight. They're not going to be told what to do. It looks like that they're looking for strength in numbers here. If you notice, it was a 4-on-2 when they jumped the Christopher Street connection. It was a 4-on-2 when they jumped Dunn and Marcos. Oh, right on the neck. High impact, right on the neck.
Once he's been working out with Roderick Strong to pick up that move.
Oh, look at that. He tripped Hydro right into a neck breaker on the knee. Cover. Not enough. It's going to take more than that to put Hydro down. Hydro definitely determined to make a statement tonight, just as determined as these 4 that I guess comprise Generation Next. And what's Shelley doing? Oh, a very unique submission on the neck.
Well, I don't know how much pressure Hydro's neck can take there. Of course, the only thing is that Shelley's not in very good standing base, so I don't know how long he's going to be able to control this hold. Because really he's trying to do this while standing on one leg. Now he has to release it.
It did its damage though, softened up that neck of Hydro. And now Shelley tying up Hydro again. Wow, another unique submission on the neck.
Shelley needs to be careful of his own shoulders here though.
And he's once again asked to release the hold. Cover.
Boy, Shelley's putting on a clinic here.
Well, Shelley does go for that Border City stretch as it's finished, which stretches the neck. So that is definitely why he's working on the neck. A sound strategy by Shelley as he hits Hydro with the double knees. Hydro has to start mounting some offense soon.
Shelley, look how quickly he gets to that top rope. Now he's just setting for Hydro.
Oh, knee right to the back of the neck. Cover.
I thought that was going to be it right there.
Not quite enough.
Now Shelley's showing some signs of frustration as he yells at Hydro to stay down.
Hydro, though, he has to start mounting some offense soon. Oh, no. And now there's a roll-up by Hydro. Cover, he's trying to bridge. No, Shelley catches him in the bridge, and he's trying for that Border City stretch right now. He caught him in the bridge and is trying to apply the Border City stretch. Hydro struggling with that arm. Yes, he rolls out of it. Shelley not able to get the hold. Now we got a struggle going on between both men. And now, no, he's going for that move again. Once again, a counter by Hydro. Hydro taking Shelley down. And now he's stretching Shelley's neck.
Reverse high bridge chinlock combination. Then you're right, this is a submission combination. And I think he's got the wrist locked with it. Shelley was able to withstand the pain long enough. That's a very difficult hold to hold.
Hydro, the people were chanting for Shelley to tap. Shelley wouldn't do it though. What's Hydro going for here? Perhaps a pump handle? No. Shelley gets out of the hold. And now he hits it. That's right on the neck. More impact on the neck of Hydro. And he turns him over. Border City stretch. He's got it. He's got it cinched in. Hydro's only chances to make the ropes here. Can he withstand the pain? The agony is racing through the neck of Hydro. And he taps. He taps.
Alex Shelley may have a big mouth, but so far he's backed up everything he said.
And we have a new faction to watch here in ROH, Generation Next.
I think you know where you belong. That's all sweet and dandy. With or without you, tonight is our night. Tonight is where we rise to the top. And I'll be goddamned if anybody is going to stop us. Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the ring this time and taking on by Masada and Just Incredible. Weighing in at a total combined weight of 430 pounds. From Fort Road in the Bronx, Rock DeVito, the Carnage Crew.
The bell, and I'm shocked. Masada just turned on Logan DeVito and Just Incredible, and Danny Daniels, of all people, coming out with Trent Acid. It was Danny Daniels and Masada who crapped in the Carnage Crew's bag on March 13th, and we have a 6-man brawl underway.
And this is going to be a war, too.
I can't believe it. Masada, he's been with the Carnage Crew since 2002, and he just turned on him. He was part of Scramble Cage 2. And DeVito, he's taking it to Masada right now. You saw Good Times, Great Memories earlier tonight with Colt Cabana. Trent Ashton saying he had the guys that were behind it. Masada stopping Logan DeVito and Justin from beating up Trent Ashton right there on the spot. And now it's obvious why.
Well, here's my question. Are Carnage Crew more upset about having their bag fouled or more upset about Masada turning on them?
Oh, I don't know, but I know one thing. You don't want to piss off Carnage Crew. They had that almost year-long feud with Special K, and it ended with them almost killing Special K. And now it looks like they have some new enemies. Why Danny Daniels? I mean, he and Luke, they were both referees in ECW and had some issues there, but you can't tell me that that possibly can carry over till now. Masada, we got to get some answers here. And right now, Just Incredible's in a bad part of town. Referee Todd Sinclair is trying to maintain some order.
Well, good luck with that, Todd. As much anger and as much hatred as we have in the ring among these 6 individuals, right now Trent Acid just setting up. Just incredible.
And Sinclair did get some order going. Very impressive job by Todd Sinclair. And look at this, though. Not so impressive is that he did not see what was just going on in the corner. And you know what? You notice Danny Daniels, he came out to Soulmouth Secrets by Soylent Green. That was the first song that Logan DeVito ever used in Ring of Honor. And so they're even taking the Carnage Crew's original song. They're wearing that Jinx clothing that the Carnage Crew normally wears. I just don't understand what's going on here.
Well, you know, we don't have a good reason for what Danny Daniels did, but at least we have a reason. There's no reason for Masada turning on.
We'll have to get some answers here, as right now they are working over Just Incredible. And wow, I mean, what a revelation. As it looks like the Carnage Crew are faced with some new enemies with Danny Daniels and Masada.
Well, this speaks to the intensity of Ring of Honor, and we talked about this earlier with Generation.
Whoa, beautiful move. Sorry to cut you off. What a move there by Danny Daniels.
It's the whole point of what Generation Next did in the top of show for their own group. They're tired of waiting. Nobody wants to wait their way up the ladder anymore. Everybody wants to be at the top right now, and they're willing to do anything to do it, which means all alliances are shaky alliances.
Well, we just witnessed that. What a chaotic night so far here in ROH as we are outside under the tent. A lot of you people might be asking why. Well, we were supposed to run the National Guard Armory tonight. However, there's this war going on in Iraq, I'm sure many of you are aware of. And the troops had to be mobilized. As a result, we were moved outside of the National Guard Armory. We set up the tent so we could still have the show. There's an option of either canceling the show or setting up the tent, and we got very lucky. It's a beautiful night here, and the fans are definitely enjoying this outside atmosphere here at Ring of Honor, a very unique show. And so far, I guess it's something about being outside making it a very chaotic show. I mean, this format is just completely thrown out the window as Dustin trying to come back now, and he super kicks Trent. Trent probably going for that DDT, that springboard DDT we saw last week.
In midair. Speaking of the ROH fans, you could set up the ring in the middle of a torrential rainstorm, and as good as the action is, and as great as these fans are, they'd support ROH.
As there you see Just Incredible, he makes the tag to Luke. I should mention that we did check with the company and they assured us even though it was downpours tonight, thunder, lightning, the fans would be safe under the tent. And here comes Daniels in against Luke. Luke catches him, spins it around into that spinning bulldog. Trent Acid in. He's taking it to Luke right now. Luke up and over. Luke with a boot to the gut. Turns Trent around. Oh, neck to the knee. Spins him around, face first.
Luke has got and now he gets a hold of Masada, spears Masada to the mat.
And Luke is really in excellent condition. Look at this guy. And there's that Saito suplex. And Luke is fired up, but Masada gets up. And Masada levels Luke with a clothesline.
And Luke was celebrating when he should have been fighting. Now DeVito will not make that same mistake. The big left hand jabs and a drop kick by the big man.
Boy, I bet Masada is the last guy the Carnage Crew thought they'd be facing tonight. Danny Daniels knocks DeVito down with a drop kick. There goes Just Incredible, airborne. Masada catches him and pushes Credible right into the steel. And what's this? It could be the Carnage Plex. Yes, indeed. Todd Sinclair losing control now. Trent Acid in. Acid gets a boot. DeVito's got him up in a splash mountain.
Loke directing traffic.
And catches him in a neck breaker on the way down.
And Loke's not finished yet. Loke up on the second rope.
And let's see, you know that right now the Carnage crew, Loke and DeVito, they want revenge on the guys that vandalized their bags, ruined their moment, and we know who it is now. And they're setting up for the Carnage driver, that PAL driver. And what's this? Masada's got a chair. The referee doesn't see it. He's distracted by Acid. And he just tipped DeVito. Oh, nice suplex there by Danny Daniels. And Masada going after the leg of DeVito.
Going after the knee, trying to wrap that knee around the... Now he's got a chair, and he smashes the chair.
Yakuza kick. And Acid scores the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new feud here in Ring of Honor. Carnage crew, Masada and Danny Daniels. What's going to happen next? We have special challenge match now. John Walters, number 5 in the top 5 against Jimmy Raven. Hold on a second. This is a must-win match for Jimmy Rave, who was canceled off the show last week. If he doesn't win here, he could lose his spot in ROH. But we have Generation Next out, and Shelly's got the mic again.
Oh, God.
The bell is already rung. This match is supposed to be underway.
Time out! Flag on the play! Okay? Flag on the play. You see, guys, I don't know if you've been watching the show, but the winds have changed. They're sweeping over Ring of Honor, okay? It's time to rage against the machine, and basically, I'm going to keep this short, and I'm going to keep it sweet. Jimmy Ray, John Walters, Generation Next, wants your spots.
Wants their spot.
We are not going to climb up the ladder. We're just going to take the rungs out from underneath you.
What?
We are taking your spots.
We're taking the spots. What does this mean? We're supposed to have a match here, Walters against Rave. Well, Shelly said we weren't done seeing them tonight earlier.
Hey, I just want to make sure that we're crystal clear, okay? Are we clear? Are we clear, fellas?
And Aries just hit Rave. Walters firing on. Here comes Roderick Strong and Jack Evans. And we got a 4-on-2 here. And this match, I guess, is thrown out.
And Raves and Walter never had a chance. Roderick Strong and Aries attack him from behind while Shelly distracts him with the microphone.
And he crosses the arms. Pal driver. Oh, man. Alex Shelley, Roderick Strong, Jack Evans, and Austin Aries, Generation Next. We have a renegade faction here. They're playing by their own rules, and look at Walters clutching at a neck. Oh, and Aries, insult to injury on Jimmy Rave right there, slapping him. And look at Walters just grasping at that neck. I don't think we're going to see Jimmy Rave against John Walters.
I don't think we're going to see John Walters, and we may not see John Walters for a while.
Generation Next said they're coming to take the spots, and I think they just did.
You know, earlier we kind of rolled our eyes when they came out there and started shooting off their mouth and talking big. Nobody's rolling their eyes now.
Easiest match I've had.
You're under control now. He's running ROH. He's running this. Running ROH.
Now we have, I guess, the only Generation Next match that's going off as scheduled, but I guess this isn't even part of Generation Next because that name's been hijacked and is now the name of that new faction. But we have Nigel McGuinness. He always sports the European style against the Huss man, Jimmy Jacobs. Huss.
Huss?
Yep. Does he compare to Bruiser Brody at all in your eyes there, Mark?
Maybe with a step ladder and a set of body armor.
These two right now, and look at that. Jacobs just making Nigel Huss, and Nigel's not appreciating it. The referee is Paul Turner, and I hope we don't see those Generation Next guys, Shelly Evans, Aries, and Strong, coming out and ruining this match like they just did to the last one. I'm waiting to get a report on John Walter's condition in his neck, and look at that, there's a headband around the eyes there.
Did Jimmy Jacobs escape from Special K or something?
And now Nigel's working on the arm, and he's just hussing the arm. And the crowd, they're into Jimmy Jacobs. Nigel McGuinness, he wants to get back into the top 5 rankings. He was in them after Reborn Stage 2, where he won that awesome 4-corner survival in Chicago. And a victory here will propel him back into the top 5 probably. Jimmy Jacobs looking to earn his job, looking to solidify a full-time spot here in ROH. Jacobs, of course, he's had problems with Alex Shelley in the past. He was Alex Shelley's tag team partner, and Shelley basically disowned him in Chicago at Reborn Stage 2 when Jacobs lost the fall in a tag team scramble.
Yeah, come on, you kind of understand that though, right?
Well, Huss. That's all I got to say to that, man.
Huss?
Huss.
And to quote that great Texas Senator Lloyd Benson, I knew Bruiser Brody, and sir, you are no Bruiser Brody.
I don't know about that. Jimmy Jacobs, he's one intimidating guy. All right, maybe he's not. But he can take one hell of a beating and dish it out too. And right now he's trying to out-wrestle Nigel McGuinness, but McGuinness, he uses that European wrestling so effective, and he counters his way out of it.
It's the style that they teach and train. They like to use a lot of hooks in England. And there's something they don't teach you in England is a poke to the eyes.
And that'll definitely stop any kind of hold or counter hold you have going on. A finger to the eye will stop anybody, no matter how big or small.
European style means a lot of joint locks, as we're seeing him work on the wrist. Of course, everybody knows about the snake pit in Wigan.
Maybe you could explain that.
Well, that was where the toughest of the tough came from. That's where Billy Robinson came from. Steve Regal did not necessarily come from there, but he definitely trained there. And if you survived the snake pit, it was kind of like the European version of surviving the dungeon from the Hart family.
Oh, good bit of history right there, Mark Nolly. Thank you very much for that. That might explain some of the background of Nigel McGuinness right there, as he is definitely getting the advantage on Jimmy Jacobs. And Nigel was a guy that I really have my finger on and really predicted to shine in this Generation Next series. And let's see if he can do that right here and get back in the top 5. But that boot stops him short, followed by an uppercut, a chop, and a clothesline takes him off his feet.
Well, here's the thing when you wrestle somebody like Jimmy Jacobs, he is so unorthodox. How do you prepare any kind of strategy? How do you wrestle somebody that doesn't know what move they're going to make next?
Good point about that. Nigel McGuinness, he has so many holds and counter holds, but wow, there's a bunch of flurry to the chest right there. Not that painful, but effective. Stuns a guy long enough for Jimmy Jacobs to follow up, and he's doing that right now as he climbs the ropes. And what's he doing?
This is kind of like the spoiler meets Bruiser Brody meets Lord of Littlebrook.
And effective as Jimmy Jacobs walks the ropes, bites the hand of Nigel, and comes off with a big chop to the forehead. And we got a cover.
Boy, wouldn't this be an upset?
Paul Turner with just a 2 count.
Well, after everything we've seen tonight, nothing would shock me.
No doubt about that. Nigel McGuinness, he needs this victory. He's impressed very much so in ROH so far, and he's a guy that I could definitely see breaking out. Let's see if it happens right here.
Boy, that'll stretch the hamstrings.
Nigel McGuinness knows so many roll-up variations, so many holds and counter holds, and they're all very unique. And really, there's not like guys that wrestle that style. The only other one we've ever seen in ROH history that does that is Doug Williams, the human torture device. So a lot of people aren't too familiar with the holds and counter holds Nigel might use, as that was a very effective high-impact move right on the arm of Jacobs. Nigel, of course, has that new arm submission hold that he will try to set up for.
That was actually a fall-away overhand wrist lock by Nigel there, and that's something I've never seen before. Now Nigel grapevines the leg from a standing position, applies a reverse overhand wrist lock on the other side, and he may be able to get a submission right here.
Jacobs desperately needs to get out of this hold as the sun sets here on this beautiful night in Philadelphia. And there's another effective move on the arm, and look at Jacob slapping his own hand, trying to get feeling back into it before it goes numb.
Well, if you don't submit, you're liable to get pinned. And notice the way that Nigel's making him carry the entire body weight while he hangs on to that arm scissors.
Nigel going back to work on the arm, and Jacobs quickly scurries to the ropes.
Overhand wrist lock that time adds a leg grapevine on top of it.
Nigel, what's he going to follow up with? You know, it's definitely going to go after that injured limb of Jacobs. No, he was trying to kick the leg out. We've seen him do that before. Jacobs manages to counter, though.
But look how much trouble Jacobs is in. Jacob is wrestling with 3 points right now instead of 4.
That arm is definitely taken out, a non-factor for Jacobs. And look at this by Nigel. Jacobs doesn't know what to make of it. Tries to charge in, and he would have gotten greeted with a boot there. Once again, what an interesting situation here by Nigel McGuinness. Finally he comes in and he trapped, yes, he trapped Jimmy Jacobs. Oh, slams him head first.
And that will...
Whoa!
I cannot believe it.
I can't believe it either.
I was so sure I would have bet the mortgage on that.
How did Jimmy Jacobs kick out and Nigel McGuinness look stunned? These fans here in Philadelphia look stunned.
Well, Nigel McGuinness at this point has this match firmly under control. Now Nigel McGuinness, yeah, another factor in the Europeans, look how methodical their style is. They never get in trouble, they never get in a hurry, they never charge, they never make a lot of mistakes, and they're going to go back to this.
And once again, he might be going for the move a second time, but a knee stops him. Uh-oh, it could be the contra code. It could be over if he hits it. No. Oh, and a big boot. And a cover. I guess that's not quite as effective as Bruiser Brody's boot.
There's a difference between doing it at 130 and 330.
And now Jimmy Jacobs, he's looking to follow up.
And Jimmy Jacobs is doing all of this with one arm. Anything that Jimmy Jacobs is going to hit, he's going to have to hit with his right arm or his legs, because his left arm is pretty much useless.
And not only that, anytime that arm is touched or gets jolted, he feels a rush of pain. And Nigel using that quickness to avoid that double foot stomp, and using the quickness to avoid Jacobs again. He's one of the quicker athletes. Cover! This could be it! No, once again, Jacobs kicked out.
Drop toe hold, reverses polarity, splits the legs, and then makes him carry the body weight on the ride.
Nigel now picking Jacobs up. Whips him in. No, he knew what was coming. Jacob stopped himself, though, before he got caught. Oh, slams Nigel head first. This could be, we could have an upset right here. Cover!
Give Jimmy Jacobs credit. He keeps coming after Nigel McGuinness. He keeps pressing the action. If anything, he's the one that's being the aggressor here, as McGuinness is pretty happy just to counter wrestle and wrestle defense and catch Jacobs in mistakes. But Jacobs keeps charging and keeps taking the match to him.
Jacobs needs to mount some big offense, needs to put it away quickly. And look at that. That was a European uppercut to the arm, and it stopped Jacobs from going for that contra code. Once again, Nigel counters it by going to the arm. And there, he shoots the leg out from underneath him. That's a divorce cord right there on the shoulder. And now he's going for that arm submission. Yes, he has it cinched.
It's a double wrist lock with a neck grapevine combination.
And Jacobs has to get to the ropes, and he taps. Jimmy Jacobs taps. What an impressive victory from Nigel McGuinness. What a great effort by Jimmy Jacobs.
Oh, what a
What's up? Taking it back to the old school. It's me, the S, the S, the P, Sugar Sean Price. It is my pleasure to interview the possible future Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, the 187 Homicide, and his man Julius T. Smokes. Come on. Hey, what's up, guys? Just trying to figure out what's going through your mind right now. You're about to take on Samoa Joe for the title. It's a big night. Come on, Homicide. What's going on? Julius T. What's cracking, man?
It's going like a chicken wing, son.
Oh,
on the road to rail.
Oh, sweet. So,
we looking for no affirmative action. We looking for satisfaction tonight. That's all that is. Looking for the opportunity to dance with the devil once more again. Homicide, baby. Stay focused, son.
Do you know this guy?
Huh? Shabba Rings Wild Molly? Nah, I don't know about this guy.
Come on, we hung out before. It's me, Sugar Sean Price. You know, like, we talk. Come on, we're just trying to find out. You, Joe, tonight for the title. You gotta be pumped up. What's going through your mind right now, baby? Come on.
Pumped up. Pumped up. Pumped up. Nothing.
Can you feel the intensity? Can you feel the hatred? The Second City Saints and Prophecy face to face. No disqualifications. The tag team titles are on the line. CM Punk face to face with the man that took out Lucy, BJ Whitmer, and this grudge tag team match is underway.
So much on the line, like you mentioned, Chris. Not only do we have the tag team titles on the line, but we may have the Prophecy itself on the line.
That's right, Dan Moff saying that this could be the death of the Prophecy if they don't win. They're in a must-win situation. I don't know what he means by that. Whitmer and Allison Danger, who's at ringside, don't seem to know what he means by that. But let's just hope for the sake of the Prophecy, and personally I wouldn't mind seeing the Prophecy go down, that they win the tag belts tonight. Then again, they're faced with the Second City Saints, who I hate even more, especially after what Punk and Cabana have done to Ricky Steamboat. And later on tonight, CM Punk will be face-to-face with Ricky Steamboat in a confrontation.
To quote the great wrestling announcer Danny Williams, who do you root for in a match like this?
The Prophecy, they hate the code of honor. They want to bring it down. They won't shake hands. They will not follow it, but they do want those tag titles back. As Dan Moff trips Cabana over the top and punches CM Punk. Last week, the Prophecy, they held the belts for about 1 hour, and they want them back. They defeated the Second City Saints last week. Let's see if they can do it one more time.
Well, and they defeated the Second City Saints for the title after Ricky the Dragon Steamboat forced Second City Saints to go back to the ring and defend the belts.
That's right. Steamboat a definite factor, but Ricky the Dragon Steamboat paid the price when he went through the table. We thought that he wasn't coming back, and he did at the end of the night to hit his famous flying body press on CM Punk, who just tripped Dan Moff.
just very nonchalantly sweeps that leg from the floor. Here comes CM Punk.
And I tell you what, nobody in Boston last week is going to forget that moment when Ricky Steamboat ascended to the top rope and hit that flying body press. It was really something special and something that really you can only truly get the true meaning of if you experience it live and in person.
Well, CM Punk found out firsthand why Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is indeed considered a legend. And now Punk goes up and over Moff. And this time Moff sets for him, catches him, and Whitmer just buries that right hand to the side of his head.
And Moff connects with a senton, and we got a cover on the champions. No, just a 2 count. Moff and Whitmer, they waited so long to get ROH titles. Dan Moff opened up the Ring of Honor promotion. He waited 2 years, over 2 years, to get a belt around his waist, and he tasted that glory only to have it snatched away from him 1 hour later by Jay and Mark Briscoe. And one thing that was obvious last week with the, hold on, oh, big ass to the face right there. Here comes Whitmer, double boots right to the face of Punk, and you know what's gonna follow that cannonball. Moff getting psyched up for it, and look at this, the crowd siding with the prophecy in this one. Oh, Cabana cuts him off and crotches Moff right into that steel.
Meanwhile, CM Punk rallying, now calls for Cabana in the ring, and it's Cabana that runs with a double high knee.
And then, wow, what a suplex. Whitmer dumped right on his head. Cover.
And here comes Danger.
She's looking hot as always, and she's stopping the count. No DQ, though, in this one. Last week, the Briscoes, the Second City Saints, and the Prophecy, they all proved they were equal. Any team could beat any team, as we saw 3 tag team title changes last night. Absolutely crazy stuff. The summer season kicked off with a wild start last week in Boston, so there's no telling who can walk out with the tag straps tonight.
Well, the Second City Saints walked out with the tag belts. I guess that makes them just a little bit more equal.
They lost him at the beginning of the show, won him at the end of the show. Tonight they won't have that luxury as they got a win right here. And nice agility by the big Colt Cabana. And look at that, he tracks BJ Whitmer and he's working on the neck, twisting the neck of BJ Whitmer.
Neck scissors by Cabana, but he has to be careful and watch his shoulders here. Whitmer now reverses it, double reverse toe hold. Almost looks like he wants to go for a Boston Crab here. CM Punk waits way too close to his own corner. Punk just comes in off the blind tag, levels with him with a forearm. Now Punk directing traffic.
Whitmer definitely in the wrong part of town. Of course, Whitmer and Moff, they are fighting for their fallen leader, Christopher Daniels. Allison Danger revealed last week we might not ever see him in Ring of Honor again as a result of the injuries he sustained. But by CM Punk at Battle Lines Are Drawn. Of course, that 6-man tag at Battle Lines Drawn will go down as legendary, a Match of the Year candidate, and it marked the end of Christopher Daniels and ROH. Moff and Whitmer want revenge.
Punk scissoring that neck, putting all the pressure on Whitmer's neck. And this is something that you don't see very often. I think this crowd's getting behind the Prophecy.
And Whitmer slips out of the hold. And once again, he's in the wrong part of town to be going for something like this. And Colt Cabana takes full advantage. We saw the Second City Saints, their great teamwork last week, especially against the Briscoe brothers. That's what won them the tag titles back. So you've got to make sure that you are out of their corner if you're going to try anything. Double elbow.
And Cabana, you notice the way when Cabana and Punk are in a rhythm that they'll trade out every about 45 seconds. Neither one of them will be in the ring for more than a minute when they've got their opponent trapped in their corner.
They definitely have their teamwork down pat. Whitmer trying to fight back right now, but Cabana levels him. We got an exchange of forearms. Whitmer firing back one after another, and there's a blind tag by CM Punk. A Russian leg sweep by Cabana.
And floats into...
Turns Whitmer over. Slingshot senton by Punk on an exposed Whitmer. Nice move, cover. Moff not hesitating to make the save.
Had to there, or this match was going to be over. Well, every time, you may not like Punk and you may not like Cabana, but every time you see them as a team, they've added a few more moves to their arsenal.
They are a well-oiled machine in there. That's a cliche, but it's true.
That's why they're cliches.
And now, right, Punk going for with a cheap choke into the ropes on B.J. Whitmer.
No, that's not a cheap choke in the ropes. That's a total choke into the ropes.
Gary Moore calling for the break. It is no DQ though. And there's Colt Cabana doing it now behind the referee's back.
Now they're playing divide and conquer a little bit. Moff and Whitmer are not always on the same page. They really aren't best friends or even friends by any stretch of the imagination. They have worked well as a team the last few weeks since Christopher Daniels has gone down.
I think that the only thing that's really keeping them together right now is the fact they won those tag titles last week, and when they are on the same page, no one can beat Moff and Whitmer. They're as tough as they come, and they are basically a great tag team, but they do not see eye to eye. Moff and Whitmer had all those wars against each other in 2003. Moff didn't know that Whitmer was a Lucy attacker and was shocked when Whitmer was revealed as the Lucy attacker and the newest member of the Prophecy after Moff swore in his father's grave to Punk that the Prophecy had nothing to do with it. So that's where you get the tension there between Whitmer and Moff, but right now they're holding together. Allison Danger is keeping them together as they try to seek revenge for Christopher Daniels and get the tag team titles back.
B.J. Whitmer ranked number 2 in the ROH top 5. But right now, Colt Cabana and CM Punk are simply measuring it. Now, double leg pickup.
And there's another blind tag.
Reverse Boston Crab. Reverse Boston Crab, Russian sickle combination, or camel clutch combination, depending what part of Europe that you follow your wrestling.
Beautifully done. Dan Moff had to break it up, and Whitmer desperately needs the tag. He's trying to inch his way to the corner, but look at Colt Cabana. He's just toying with him at this point.
You know, that's something that may not be the best strategy here. I know you've got Whitmer in a lot of trouble, but the Prophecy are so dangerous. You really don't need to be toying with them or taunting them, and you certainly don't need to be letting Whitmer tease that he's getting close to the corner for a tag.
That is definitely cockiness by Colt Cabana there. And now it's just insulting what he was just doing, raking that tape and that wrist across the face of B.J. Whitmer. And that's just painful what CM Punk's doing with that boot across the face of B.J. Whitmer.
What was really interesting is that last week in this match, the Prophecy pretty much dominated the entire contest.
And the Saints looking strong here. Oh, Whitmer moves and Punk goes hard to the floor. And the crowd wants Whitmer to make the tag to Moff. And look at Punk landing on that hard concrete. And there's the tag. Here comes Moff. Clothesline. Chops Cabana down. Punches Cabana down. Big chop. Moff unloading the offense. And he's feeling it right now. There is no better feeling in the world for him than when he won the tag titles last week. Oh, and he takes care of both Saints. And they're cover.
Cabana gets out, but he catches CM Punk in midair with a belly-to-belly that lands him on Cabana. Now Punk trying to rally, mule kick.
But he walks right into Whitmer, but he rolls up Whitmer in a victory roll cover. Just a 2 count. Whitmer now getting to his feet. He catches Cabana. Maybe that wrist clutch. I won him the tag titles last week, and Cabana fights out of it. And what's this? Another, wow. Huda Karada by Punk. Another new double team move by the Saints.
The Saints, you cannot fault their work ethic. It's obvious they spend so much time training and in the gym.
CM Punk, he thinks he's better than you because he's straight edge. That means he's drug and alcohol free, but he just got lariated into a clothesline, or excuse me, into a suplex. And all 4 men are down. They're feeling the punishment of this match so far. They're getting worn down. And look, maybe Punk and Cabana, they're going to run again like they did last week. They're taking their time on the floor right now. Double tope by the Prophecy.
Tope suicidas on top of that. Suicide dives. No hand, no look.
And on that hard concrete as well. As the action action is spilling out into the ringside area. A chop by Moff. Another one. You can just feel the hatred between these two teams. They'll do anything to get the victory against each other.
What a cannonball by Moff into the guardrail. CM Punk with nowhere to go.
He was just squashed on that one.
Now at some point, they've got to get the Saints back into the ring so they can score the pinfall.
Well, it looks like BJ Whitmer is completely ignoring you as he's tossing Cabana into the crowd. This fight, the ringside area cannot contain it. This is shades of At Our Best. This is shades of Wilmington, Ohio. Battle lines are drawn. Those matches ended in a no contest. This one's no DQ. We're going to let the brawl go tonight in Philadelphia. As right now, Cabana and Whitmer, I'm losing track of them. They are fighting into the field. They are into the crowd there. The tent cannot contain them. Punk staggering through the crowd. Oh, Whitmer with a chair across the back of Cabana. All control is lost. We've seen this so many times between the Prophecy and the Saints. This is why Ricky Steamboat was brought to ROH before his feud started with Punk. He was initially brought in to bring order to this feud.
Moff and Whitmer now starting to take control of this brawl.
The brawling element definitely favors Moff and Whitmer. These two are great brawlers, and they just toss Cabana right into Punk, right on the grass.
But again, at some point, they're going to have to get the Saints into the ring if they want to capture the tag titles.
You're right about that. This is not Falls Count Anywhere, just no DQ. We want a winner tonight.
Punk trying to fight his way out of trouble against Whitmer.
And this brawl is just chaotic. It's wild. And that's what you expect when you see the Prophecy and Saints against each other, as they're just trashing all those seats out on the lawn.
You know, maybe now it's good that we do have a 10 instead of a building.
I don't think any building could hold this. It probably would have ended up on the street anyways.
And probably dismantled the building, at least with the 10. You've got a shot of it staying upright.
And just think, CM Punk's going to be faced with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat later on tonight.
That is if he can stand following this match.
Will we see the magic of Ricky Steamboat again? We saw it in St. Paul, we saw it in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and we saw it in Boston. As the Punk versus Steamboat feud escalates, there's no telling what will happen later. But right now, the Saints, they have to be worrying about the Prophecy. And look at that by Moff, just nailing Cabana, who I think was going after a fan. And now Whitmer and Punk back in the ring. Shining Wizard. Cover. Oh, and Whitmer somehow kicks out.
All four of these men have absorbed an incredible amount of punishment.
BJ Whitmer, he hates CM Punk after what CM Punk did to him almost a year ago at Epic Encounter and all the verbal lashings that CM Punk gave him in commentary. He took out Lucy, so CM Punk hates Whitmer. Whitmer, the number 2 ranked wrestler in ROH right now, and he wants the tag titles. Punk going up. Oh, he gets shoved off the top rope and lands hard on the floor. Punk might be a non-factor in this match after that. This crowd just loving the Prophecy, and especially Dan Moff. Half Nelson suplex, no low blow. Small package, this could be a cover. Moff somehow kicks out.
Cabana, that was a desperation move if I've ever seen one.
Well, it only took 3 seconds, you know that, Mark.
Now it's Cabana in the ring with both Whitmer and Moff.
This is a bad part of town for Cabana to be in right now. It'll be interesting to see if Punk can get back to his feet after that hard fall to the floor. Cabana avoids Whitmer. He's going up, but Whitmer catches him with the forearm.
Boy, at this point, unless you're absolutely sure, I'd stay off those top ropes.
They're going for the home run. Uh-oh, this could be Shades of St. Paul. A top rope wrist clutch exploder. The most dangerous exploder of them all. No, into a superplex. It got turned into a superplex, and both Cabana and Whitmer are down, but Punk's up. And Moff with a headbutt, and Punk with a leg drop from the top rope. All 4 men are down. Who's going to get to their feet first? That could be the winner in this one. We saw it last week in Boston. These teams are equal. They can win any match at any time.
This crowd expressing their appreciation to both teams.
You have to be here live to experience an atmosphere like this. Moth now firing back on Punk. We have an exchange of chops.
CM Punk now going to the forearms as Moth fires back. Now Moth and Punk in the ring by themselves.
Inverted atomic drop, simple and effective. Moth is down and stunned. Punk taking off the knee brace. He might be going for another Shining Wizard. Oh, he gets leveled with that lariat.
But Moth, so injured, having a hard time getting over to capitalize or cover.
A missed opportunity there by the Prophecy. They're too exhausted, too beat down to follow up as Moth is sent to the floor.
Cabana wants to be one-on-one in the ring with Whitmer, or at least get Punk, if Punk can recover, to double team Whitmer.
Yeah, it looks like Cabana's trying to set some sort of double team. Oh, look at that. He just nailed Moth on the floor. Perhaps that was the plan. Take Moth out, isolate Whitmer so Punk could maybe set up for something. But Whitmer's firing back with those forearms. BJ Whitmer, he's as tough as they come. It's going to take a lot to put him down. That's why he's break number 2. Up and over goes Punk. Punk now going up. It could be Pepsi plunge time. It's all over if he hits this. He's got one arm hooked. He's got the other arm hooked. No! Whitmer picks out of it. Whitmer going for the wrist clutch now. Back elbows by Punk, and Punk is out of it. Moth coming over now. He hits Punk. Cabana making his way up. We have all 4 men on the ropes. What's going to happen here?
Very precarious situation for all 4 men.
All 4 struggle, battling with each other. Headbutt sends Cabana to the floor. Moth goes through a table at ringside. Punk hooking BJ Whitmer. Pepsi plunge. Cover. That's it. The second City Saints retain the tag titles, and CM Punk has just pinned the number 2 ranked man in Ring of Honor. But what's going to happen later when CM Punk is face to face with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the team of CM Punk and Classic Colt Cabana, the second City Saints.
It's Gary Michael Capetta, intermission time here in Philadelphia. I've got Special K, and I usually have to try to calm these guys down, but Dixie, what's going on?
Party's over.
I know you had a tough night tonight, but...
Party's over, man. We've been getting our ass kicked everywhere the past couple of shows. We gotta do something, guys. Seriously.
Well, you're right.
Every single match, you guys lose every match.
Well, listen, what have you done in the past to pull things together, guys? Well, maybe we don't want to know, huh? Well, I've never seen Special K like this, down in the dumps, and
seriously.
To tell you the truth, guys, I don't think I'm going to get much of an interview here. But Sean Price is standing by with the Prophecy, and let's see what he has to say.
Thanks, GMC. I am outside the Prophecy's locker room, and that's what Dan Moff said. I have got to find out what he's talking about. Come on. Excuse me?
What do you want? Why are you always bothering us?
I just want to Dan Moff, but what do you have to say?
No, nothing. He's got nothing to say to you. You know what? If you want some, find us later. We got stuff to deal with.
Well, as you see, they're upset, so maybe later on we'll get some comments. Back to the second half.
But we already took 2 spots tonight. We want 2 more. You've got 2 choices. You can either walk out of here and give us those spots, or we can take them from you. First of all, who in the fuck are you for? Generation Next. You guys come out here and want to fight us. Hey, me and my brother ain't never back down from a fight. Come on, boys. I don't know how good you guys are at math, but this is 4 and you're 2. What's this? That Jimmy Rave came for a fight tonight because he was supposed to be wrestling for his Ring of Honor future. I sure as hell came for a fight tonight. Briscoes, did you come to fight? Looks like the odds are even. Who wants to see an 8-man tag?
Can you believe it? We have an impromptu 8-man tag. Generation Next. Jack Evans, Alex Shelley, Ron Strong, and Austin Aries against Jay and Mark Briscoe, Jimmy Rave, and John Walters. We've never had a match like this in Ring of Honor before. Never mind an impromptu match, unadvertised. No one knew it was going to happen. Well, maybe Generation Next did. This is all part of their plan of the night. But either way, the fans are going to be the winners when you have 8 talented athletes like this, and jobs are on the line, careers are on the line, stars are going to be made. I can't wait to see this one.
Roderick Strong starting out against Jimmy Rave, and you mentioned impromptu. They ought to call this whole show impromptu, because since Generation Next pretty much hijacked the title of our show for their new group name, everything that we've done tonight has been impromptu.
Generation Next, they started at the very opening of the show, ruining the tag team scramble, taking out Dunham Marcos and the Christopher Street Connection. From there, they defeated Special K in 2 impromptu matches. Then they ruined the John Walters versus Jimmy Rave match by attacking both men, saying that they were going to take their spots, including pile driving John Walters, injuring his neck. Walters has had time arrested. He did see the trainer in the locker room, so it should be okay by now. And then they came up to the Briscoes just now, and they told the Briscoes they were going to take their spots. Jay and Mark Briscoe never fight down back down from a fight, and here we go. As Jimmy Rave and John Walters came out to even the odds. They want revenge for the earlier attack, and we have Generation Next against these 4 ROH veterans. Right now it's Mark in there with Roderick Strong.
Well, it's interesting to note that the Briscoes just got finished with a match, and it was a match that they didn't expect to have problems with, but it was a tougher match than I think they thought they would have. Plus, it should be noted, the Briscoes had 2 grueling matches last week, including Mark getting his ribs just wrecked. Roderick Strong now floats up into the side headlock.
The Outcast Killers did try to test the Mark's ribs in that earlier match, and it looks like Mark's had a week to heal up, so the ribs might be in okay condition, but I wouldn't be surprised if Generation Next tried to target the ribs. You don't know, though. Maybe did Generation Next plan to challenge the Briscoes to a match? Did they decide to do it on the spot in the flow of the night? I mean, do they have a strategy going into this one? We know that the Briscoes, Jimmy Rave and John Walters, don't have a strategy going into this one. They had no time to prepare for this. They had no time to watch tapes or come up with a strategy as Alex Shelley comes in and goes to work on the arm of Mark. So it'll be interesting to see what happens because we have a lot of first-time matchups in this one, including Mark and Shelley in there right now. And these 4 or 8 men might not know what to expect from each other.
Well, you brought up an interesting point. It would be interesting to find out exactly how much strategy and how long Generation Next have been together and have been putting this together. If anybody's at a disadvantage here, it's going to be the Briscoes because Jimmy Rave and John Walter pretty much just recruited them for this match at the last second. Because you know they don't have any strategy put together.
No, they got caught in the heat of the moment. Of course, they want revenge on Generation Next for that earlier attack. That's why they entered this match. But they definitely were not prepared for any of these individuals. If anything, John Walters prepared for Jimmy Rave tonight, and Jimmy Rave prepared for John Walters. They had no idea they'd be across the ring from these 4 men. As there you see a nice stretch by John Walters on Alex Shelley.
Double toe hold and then surfboards the arm. Shelley just powers his way out of it. Now Walters going with the overhand wrist lock. Shelley counters with a hammerlock, floats into the extended wrist lock, and then takes him over by the wrist. Stretches the wrist. Notice that Shelley trying to move closer back to his own corner on these exchanges.
You're dealing with 2 great pure wrestlers in the ring with Alex Shelley and John Walters. And you look at that Generation Next team, what a complete unit it is. Jack Evans now tagging in. He's the high flyer, perhaps the most spectacular high flyer in the wrestling business today. If you saw him in any of those 6-man mayhem matches, The Last Stand, At Our Best, or Reborn Stage 1, you know the high flying this guy can do. Then you have Alex Shelley. What a great technical wrestler he is. Then you have Austin Aries with the explosive offense, who can also fly, who can mat wrestle, he can do it all. And finally you have Roderick Strong with the high-impact backbreakers and all the other high-impact offensive features. What a complete unit we have right there. As right now Jimmy Rave's just snapmare Jack Evans out of his, sneakers. He's got to get some wrestling gear.
Well, this is a rather unorthodox look for somebody that came out of the Stu Hart dungeon, which Jack Evans did.
That's the kind of disrespect Jack Evans has. He is one cocky individual. He knows how good he is. Now let's see if he can just take that potential and realize everything that he can accomplish in the wrestling business. A big step will be winning this match. Jimmy Rave, on the other hand, he's been in ROH for quite a while now. He's been close to breaking out, never quite getting there. He even had AJ Styles as his mentor, still couldn't break through, and he was pretty much told by ROH officials, you have to win tonight, and if you don't, that's it. You lose your spot, you lose your job. He was even left off the show last week in Boston.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much of the pressure that's being applied here is being applied by the individuals themselves. Keep in mind that the Briscoes are fighting for their tag team lives here. They've already lost twice to the tag team champions, the Second City Saints. Now, if somebody on Generation Next scores a pinfall on one of the Briscoes, you know it's going to be Generation Next lobbying that they should get the next tag team title shot.
You hit the nail on the head there. Jay and Mark Briscoe, they proved last week they can win the belts again. They brought stability to the ROH Tag Team division with that 6-month title reign. They brought prestige to the tag titles, but they have lost twice to the current champions, the Second City Saints, as Mark Briscoe tags in now. Of course, there was that classic match at Reborn Stage 1, and then last week in Boston, Mark had severely injured ribs when he came into that match, and the Saints took full advantage of it, but the Briscoes still lost, and a loss is a loss in the record books, and you know the Briscoes want the tag titles back. So, oh, what a kick by Mark on the back of Jack Evans. So in order for the Briscoes to get back in the title picture, they need a victory right here.
And the one advantage the Briscoes do have of anybody in the match, even though they're teaming with a couple of guys that they're just seeing maybe for the first time tonight, is that the Briscoes are probably the most polished and certainly the most seasoned tag team here.
They proved that with their ROH tag title reign. They might have fired Jim Cornette last week, but they learned their lessons well from Jim Cornette. And they have a lot of tag team strategy, a lot of maneuvers, and a lot of little things that they do in the match that really sets them apart from everybody else, as Austin Aries is in there right now with Mark Briscoe.
Austin Aries, nice grapevine of the leg and take him over while still holding on to that, the wrist lock.
Austin Aries is a guy who's really impressed. He made his ROH debut on the afternoon card, Do or Die 2 on March 13th. Looked very impressive there. And then he was in that Four Corner Survival in Chicago at Reborn Stage 2. And that Four Corner Survival absolutely stole the show. One of the best Four Corner Survivals yet. Tonight, of course, he was supposed to be in that Generation Next series. And these four hijacked that name and they formed their own group. An obvious plan. And let's see exactly where Austin Aries fits into that. As he goes into the knuckle lock right now.
Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
Mark Briscoe struggling right now.
Mark Briscoe still must be suffering some effects of the ribs. I wouldn't be surprised if those ribs are taped underneath that singlet.
As there you see, look at that, Austin Aries trapping the arm of Mark Briscoe so he can cinch in on the head right there. Beautifully done. Austin Aries has a lot of unique combinations, a lot of high impact combinations. He's got a spring in his step, a velocity, a force, and it kind of reminds me of AJ Styles, although Austin Aries, I don't like to compare people to other people, and Austin Aries I'm sure will break out on his own without the comparisons, but this guy definitely has a lot of force, a lot of velocity, a lot of spring in everything he does.
And he also doesn't mind grabbing some trunks every now and then.
Now these Generation Next guys showed that they would play dirty. They're not following any rules. They are a definite renegade group. They proved that tonight by how they've turned the show upside down. But in the end, the fans can't complain with a match like this. And right now, Mark back in the corner. Here comes John Walters. It also should be noted, John Walters is right now in the top 5 rankings, as well as Alex Shelley. So you know if somebody scores a fall over one of these guys in the top 5 rankings, that could very well springboard them into the top 5. And if you want to get into the title picture here in ROH, you have to be in the top 5 rankings.
Well, Alex Shelley right now trying to break down the bridge. Or John Walters, excuse me, in the ring with Austin Aries.
And there's a knee right to the gut. Fireman's takeover. Goes for the arm, but Walters avoids it and comes up with the head. Beautifully done by John Walters.
Notice the way that Walters, and for the most part, the team of Rave, Briscoes, and Walters have tried to keep the match on the mat as much as they can.
Well, these guys are ROH veterans, so they know their way around that ring. Even if they haven't had time to come up with a strategy, they're not going to wrestle a stupid match. They know what to do, and that's what they're trying so far against these young upstarts. Oh, what a kick. And the tag goes out now to Jay Briscoe.
It'll be interesting to see, as the tempo of the match picks up, which of the Generation Next that we're going to see the most in the ring. It looks like Shelley wants to be the ring leader and the team captain.
So far, Generation Next, they've shown great cohesiveness with each other throughout the night. So they've definitely had their time to make their strategy, to set their plans. And so far, I would say that they are executing it. They're definitely establishing themselves as a force here in ROH in just one night. The feeling out. Oh, what a kick to the side of the face by Aries. Cover. Just a 2 count. Jay Briscoe could have easily been knocked out on that kick. The first real high impact of this match, as now Aries trying to follow it up with high impact moves. All these guys still filling each other out. A lot of first time matchups in this one. A lot of these guys might not know what to expect from each other as Roderick Strong unloads on Jay Briscoe. Wow, you want to talk about hard-hitting action right there. Both these men are bruisers, and they refuse to back down from each other as Roderick Strong plants that knee in the back of Jay Briscoe, perhaps softening him up for a backbreaker in the future.
Notice the way that Roderick Strong just explodes everything he does. And there's just a little bit more of an explosion. Everything has so much intensity, especially at the end of this move.
Boy, both those men really battered each other on that exchange. As there's Roderick Strong, nice drop kick, connects right on the face of Jay Briscoe, and he yanks him into the middle of the ring. Just a 2 count as John Walters makes the save. Jay Briscoe, he's proved his toughness in that feud against Samoa Joe. In fact, both Jay and Mark did. Samoa Joe tried to intimidate them, and they refused to be bullied. They took everything that Joe had to dish out and fought back and dished it right back out to Joe. I mean, Jay really impressed during the At Our Best Steel Cage bloodbath. I've never seen anyone lose more blood than Jay Briscoe did against Samoa Joe that night, and he still almost won the world title. What a great match that was. Many are calling it a match of the year candidate.
The question is, on a lot of people's mind, will Samoa Joe keep the title after tonight?
That's going to come up next, as well as Punk and Steamboat. That's definitely something to keep an eye on later on tonight, as Austin Aries tags in from Alex Shelley and connects with a swift kick right to the gut of Jay Briscoe. This Austin Aries, he's high impact, he's hard hitting. What a well-rounded unit we have with this generation next. If Alex Shelley is indeed the general of this, and he's proved to be, he has put together one hell of a troop right there. The tag comes back into John Walters.
Notice the way that they're almost protecting Mark Briscoe, and he has not been in the match nearly as much as either Walters or Jay. They may be protecting those ribs.
Well, Mark's showing no signs of those ribs affecting him right now. They did have a week to heal up so far. And right now, look at that, John Walters, payback for the pile driver earlier tonight by Roderick Strong as he drops Austin Aries on his head. And he does it again.
Walters, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to press this advantage on his own here. If you notice, Aries and Walters' little matchup here has probably been in the ring more than any of the other matchups in this 8-man.
And Aries got the advantage there with that big drop kick, and he cinches in the side headlock right now. Shoulder block, down goes Walters. And did you see Walters kind of clutching his neck for a second there?
Drop kick and a beauty by Walters. There's the cover.
You know, Walters, he did have the physician look at his neck, but anything could tweak that injury. European uppercut, beautifully executed by Walters.
But Aries, so quick, so explosive. But this, and look how quick Aries is.
What spring as he hits Walters with that back elbow and then just nails him right there. That's that quickness, that's that velocity, that's that force of Austin Aries that I was talking about earlier.
This could be a turning point in this match, especially if Aries would bring Walters to the Generation Next corner.
So far, neither team being able to get an advantage, and I would say both teams being pretty cautious. And while I guess we're not in the early going anymore, but nobody really taking a lot of risks so far. And Walters now firing back with those forearms right to the mug of Austin Aries, whips him in, catches Aries, plants him face first.
Aries is paying for not following up on his advantage a couple of moments ago.
And paying severely with those cross faces. Boy, these guys sure aren't afraid to mix it up. They might not be going for any high-risk moves yet, but they're going for all impact, all force.
Not only they're not going for high-impact moves, but you're not seeing a lot of team moves, and you're not seeing a lot of work in the corner trying to cut off an opponent from making a tag.
I think that goes back to neither team being able to get an advantage so far, as it's been totally back and forth so far. Walter's trying to turn that over to a sharpshooter, perhaps. Aries fights it off, and Jimmy Rave gets tagged in. Aries, though, rolls into the corner, tags in Alex Shelley, and there we go back to neither team being able to get an advantage. Back and forth action from the very start, and we have Shelley and Jimmy Rave right now. Jimmy Rave cannot afford to get pinned or tapped in this one. He cannot afford to lose the fall, or that might be it for him in Ring of Honor.
Jimmy Rave, for that matter, almost can't afford to have his team lose.
Alex Shelley, he's number 3 in the top 5 right now. Can he keep his momentum going? That chop will stop his momentum right there. No, he ducks the other one, turns it over on Rave. Rave, no, rolls through, misses a drop kick. Rave now up, goes for that Shining Wizard, and Shelley rolls out and avoids it.
Shelley obviously had Jimmy Rave well scouted, as he seemed like one step ahead of Rave the whole time on that exchange.
Well, he wants no part of that Shining Wizard. It could be all over if Rave connects with it. That could definitely knock you out for 3 count. And here comes Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong has had a very good match so far. Jimmy Rave taking over here with some chops and gets back into the corner and tags Jay Briscoe.
Jay unleashing those chops. He's not afraid to mix it up. The Briscoes proved that against the Havana Pitbulls at Reborn Stage 1. What a great match that was. And what a nice suplex that is by Roderick Strong. Cover. Not quite enough.
Probably the most intense exchange that we've had in the match was earlier between Jay Briscoe and Roderick Strong.
Definitely intensity personified in that exchange. Jay whipping Strong off. Strong up and over. Jay, no, Strong blocks him. Jay blocks that, and now we got a forearm. And that's back on between Briscoe and Strong. Ducks the clothesline. Big back elbow. Cover. Not enough. Let's see if this team can finally get an advantage on Generation Next. As here comes Mark.
Notice how quickly Jay looked for the tag as soon as he got his advantage. As soon as he had Roderick Strong locked up, he looked over his corner to see where his brother was. Now Roderick Strong, to his credit, fights his own way out of trouble.
And once again, neither team able to get an advantage. As here comes Jack Evans. He lands on his feet. There's that agility. Mark go behind Jack Evans now. A go behind back elbows. And look at Jack Evans. He is staggered. Oh, and that clothesline takes him right off his feet.
Nearly decapitates him with that clothesline. And again, it's going to be interesting to see as he goes for the cover. It's Roderick Strong to make the save. It'll be interesting to see if the Briscoes start working as a team here.
They have to. I mean, they can't keep going back and forth like this. You have to mount some sustained offense if you want to get a victory in this one. As Mark is driving those shoulders into the stomach of Jack Evans, and he unleashes a big shot. He takes him into the corner. That's not where Jack Evans wants to be. And look at that, a cheap shot by Walters as he tags in. And I can't blame Walters for what they did to him earlier tonight.
Oh no, that wasn't a cheap shot. He got full value on it.
And look at that, Walters calling in the Briscoes. What's this? And you want to talk about high impact. Jack Evans thrown across the knees of the Briscoes, and his back bent in all kinds of unnatural positions there.
Well, that's a great way to ground a high flyer. You take his back out from him.
That's a great way to end a career. Oh, and he spikes him with that power bomb.
Jay Briscoe was impressed with the power bomb and will follow up on the advantage as he takes the tag back in.
Oh, and look at those insulting kicks in the face. They sting and they're insulting. And it looks like the Briscoe Rave Walters team finally has an advantage here, and they're finally able to mount a series of offensive moves. Nice drop kick by Jay Briscoe, and look at him, comes right up into the faces of the Generation Next guy and spits his gum right in the face of Alex Shelley.
Roderick Strong with the save again. And there's the tag to Jimmy Rave. This is the first time tonight that we've seen real teamwork. and we're not seeing it from the Generation Next team.
Look at the bruises on the back of Jack Evans. As right now, Jimmy Ray with that chin lock, and he's got that knee grind into the spine of Jack Evans.
If they can keep him isolated in the corner and use tags to keep fresh men in, this could be a long match for Jack Evans.
Oh, double stomp. Well, at this point, it looks like Generation Next might be a flash in the pan because Jack Evans needs to get out of there or he's going to get pinned. And here comes Mark once again. He goes to the lower back. They are working on that back of Jack Evans. Mongolian chop. Northern Light suplex. Beautifully done.
Alex Shelley comes across the ring. And I think Mark's starting to get a little bit frustrated.
Notice though, Mark is taking Jack right back into their corner and he tags in his brother. Here's more Briscoe double teamwork. Nice leg. Cover. And there's, look at that. Look how many Generation Next guys came in to try to make the save. Both Aries and Strong.
Leg guillotine sidewalk slam combination by the Briscoes, showing why they're so incredibly well thought of as a tag team.
How much abuse can Jack Evans take though? He's got to get out of there.
Well, we've seen Jack Evans dish it out as a member.
Oh, low blow. He saved himself with that. Oh, a moonsault into a kick. Beautifully done. This is Jack Evans' chance. He's rolling. Yes, he tags in Roderick Strong. What a break for Generation Next, and Jack Evans made it.
Well, Jack Evans, you don't get out of the heart dungeon without being able to take a lot of punishment.
And there's teamwork by Generation Next, beautifully done, and Jay Briscoe's in trouble now. Wow, Alex Shelley just kicking out the leg of Jay, and then Roderick hitting a very high impact backbreaker all in the same motion.
Now Roderick Strong, who we think of as a high impact guy, but now Roderick Strong splitting those legs as he leg locks.
Roderick Strong, here's a guy, he's only on his third ROH show and his second main show. He impressed last week in Six Man Mayhem, which stole the show, and he initially impressed at Do or Die 2 on the afternoon card March 13th. Now he's got a spot here in ROH and he tags into the technician, Alex Shelley. And look at Alex Shelley, he's going right to work on the legs of Jay Briscoe.
Technician slash quarterback.
Alex Shelley knows so many holds and counter holds. And he comes up with so many creative holds and counter holds, and Jay Briscoe reaches up, and he's in his corner. He could reach up and make the tag. No, Shelley pulls him back.
Good ring awareness by Shelley to know exactly where he was and what he needed to do to maintain the advantage. Big knee drop.
Austin Aries connects, and it was right on the leg of Jay Briscoe. It looks like Generation Next is finally getting that advantage they needed, and they're looking to take out one of the limbs on the Briscoe brothers. And you got to figure if they take out that knee, Jay might not be able to hit the Jay Driller. And if he's not able to hit the Jay Driller, that takes away perhaps his most high-impact move. Jay struggling, Jay fighting, and he kicks out. He's going for the tag. He's inching towards his corner. He needs it. No. Austin Aries pulls him back right into the corner of Generation Next. Aries scoops him up. Oh, a shin breaker into a back suplex. There's one of those high-impact combinations from Austin Aries I was talking about before. Mark making the save.
What an impressive move by Austin Aries, who is having an impressive match.
Oh, and he just spit on that whole group in the corner, drawing them into the ring. Ref Hansen trying to get them out. And in the meantime, Generation Next is going to take advantage of this opportunity.
Now here comes Roderick Strong back in, and it looks like they've got the attack centered on the left leg and knee. And it'll be interesting to see which, if they're just trying to set him up here for a particular Alex Shelley submission.
And look at that, Roderick Strong grabs a headlock, but at the same time he's twisting the knee.
Nice grapevine headlock combo.
So that is right now making Jay Briscoe woozy in the head while at the same time doing more damage to the knee. And nice quick tags we're seeing right here by Generation Next. They're definitely coming together as a cohesive unit right here. And look at that, the knee bent in an unnatural position, and Alex Shelley connects with a kick.
And how quick will Alex Shelley be in somebody's office wanting a tag team title match if one of the Briscoes get pinned here?
Very, very true. That's a goal Generation Next. They wanted to solidify their spots, and if they're able to beat ROH veterans like the Briscoes, John Walters, and Jimmy Rave, they have definitely made a name for themselves and accomplished their goal tonight. I mean, they've laid out Donna Marcos. They've laid out the Christopher Street connection. They've defeated Special K in 2 matches, and now they're in there with the Briscoes, Rave, and Walters, and they need to win this match if they truly want to prove that they belong at the top of the card.
Well, it seems like they've almost taken on the entire card tonight.
They've definitely hijacked the show. I mean, they've taken the show name and they've made it their own. Big shot by Roderick Strong. Strong whipping Jay in. Oh, and look at that. Briscoe can't even run the ropes. That knee is in a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. And Jay Briscoe needs to get out of there in a hurry and in a bad way.
Look for Alex Shelley to come back into the ring very shortly and try to put Jay away with some sort of a leg lock or knee lock.
As Jay once again couldn't run the ropes and he's fighting back. He knows it's do or die time for him right now. He whips Strong in, not a lot behind that clothesline, and now connects with a kick with his last burst of energy and effort, and he gets the tag. Here comes Jimmy Rave. Rave, a house of fire, cleaning house.
Notice Aries and Shelley are staying on the outside, but that doesn't stop Rave from giving one to Shelley. And now,
and look at that. Jimmy Rave distracted by members of Generation Next on the outside, and Alex Shelley took full advantage, but it's not stopping Rave. There's that Shining Wizard. No, Shelley avoids it one more time. And Aries is in now. Rave cleaning house on him, knocks him down, chops him, following up. Rave's whole job is on the line right here, and he's fighting for it. Austin Aries whips him in. Rave rolls underneath, connects with a super kick.
now Jimmy Rave needs to get this match in some type of a tempo, and he does just that with a front chantry, moving Roderick Strong into the corner and tagging out to John Walters.
And there's a nice combination, a kick and a knee lift, as Rave and Walters working as a team, and Walters with a big clothesline. And you notice the Generation Next side, they're all kind of hunched over in the corner. They're feeling pain right now. They're battered and bruised. But Alex Shelley, it's not stopping him. Ref Hansen has to get some order in this one. Here comes Shelley. No. Double knees by Walters, and Shelley pays the price for sticking his nose in this match.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Walters is going to do to follow up on the advantage. Roderick Strong back in the ring.
And he's exchanging fists with Strong. Roderick Strong scoops him up, puts him, no! John Walters grabs the leg. He saves himself right there from those double knees. Shelley now up. He's getting chopped. John Walters in firm control right now. He's getting his revenge.
Well, this is interesting. He almost forces an Indian deathlock while at the same time hanging on to a chinlock combination. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like that.
And look at Jack Evans with that double kick on both Briscoes. And then he knocked down Jimmy Rave. John Walters is moving in. No, Evans moonsaults to the floor and takes out the Briscoes. It's breaking down right here in Philadelphia. Roderick Strong now German suplex on John Walters.
Wanted to roll with it, standing switch by Walters, and a German suplex by him. Looks like he wants to roll that one, and this time it's Roderick Strong with the reversal in the go behind.
Strong now scoops up Walters, and now he connects with those double knees he was going for earlier.
And one of those knees looked like they went into the nether regions.
And look at Walters, he's on the wrong side of the ring right now, but the Generation Next faction, I don't think Jack Evans has ever recovered from that earlier beating he took. And Shelley is down on the outside too. Roderick Strong tags into the only member that's standing in Austin Aries. Aries scoops up Walters. Oh, spins him around with a suplex. Nicely done. Cover.
Aries is so at times.
And it's not just innovation for the innovation. He adds a lot of impact to those moves as there's a big knee to the neck.
Effective innovation.
Yeah, you got that right. Oh, and a slap to the neck. Oh, and I see a trend developing here, Mark.
Well, that's the one body part that is probably the most vulnerable in this match because of the beating that Walters took from Generation Next earlier on the card.
You're right about that, and they definitely are targeting that neck right now. Look at that move. Real quick, I gotta pay the bills. ROHWrestling.com. That's where you go to check out ROH's hot summer schedule. June in Dayton and Baltimore. Oh, look at that. He pulled him down by the hair, but gave him a knee to the back of the head on the way down and the neck. But June, Dayton and Baltimore. July, Elizabeth, New Jersey, outside of New York City, as well as Milwaukee and Chicago for Death Before Dishonor 2 weekend. Then August back in Boston. That's the summer schedule. ROHWrestling.com. As you see Alex Shelley taunting Walters. That's cockiness right there. I also have to mention you can go to ROHWrestling.com for all your Ring of Honor DVD and videotape needs, including new best-ofs for AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and CM Punk on DVD.
And now Roderick Strong normally prefers the suplexes and the backbreakers, but here's an interesting stretch by Roderick Strong as he catches the ropes on the offside of the referee on top of it.
That's extra leverage right there. Roderick Strong definitely proving his worth as a submissions wrestler in this one. And there you see Shelley coming in with no tag. Ref Hansen distracted by everyone in Walter's corner. And look at that, nice neck breaker. Oh, and into a submission on the neck. Look at that bridge. It's pulling back on the neck, causing pain throughout the neck of John Walters.
Walters is getting to the point where he's almost going to have no choice but to concede. As much punishment as the most delicate part of a human body, the neck, keeps getting punished.
And if Walters loses a fall in this one, he's going to lose his spot in the top 5. Here comes Austin Aries up. More double team work right here by Generation Next. Aries flies off with a forearm to the back.
You figure that Generation Next thinks that they have isolated the guy that they want to isolate.
And Walters tried valiantly to fight back, but he gets hit with that DDT, simple and effective, and more impact on the neck. But look at Walters, he's close to his corner, and look at Aries inviting him to make the tag, telling him to go ahead and try it. Oh, that's just cockiness right there. That's uncalled for. And he forearms Mark, the closest man to him, causing these guys to come into the ring and lose their cool, and giving Generation Next another opportunity to switch guys in the ring.
And now Roderick Strong continuing to press the advantage on John Walters.
You know, it's interesting. They had that feeling out process maybe for about the first 10 minutes of the match, and perhaps they realized some strengths and weaknesses in their opponents there, and that's what Generation Next was trying to do there. And now they realize the neck is the way to go on John Walters. And don't forget, Jay Briscoe has that injured knee on the outside.
But it's getting to the point where if John Walters doesn't make the tag and make it quickly, he's going to be forced to tap out.
Right about that, as there's another nice submission move by Roderick Strong. I think we were wrong just to stereotype him as a high-impact backbreaker guy. He is showing very nice submission work in this match. I don't know if this will be enough to make John Walters tap, but it's definitely wearing him down. Roderick Strong releasing the hold now.
That's one of those holds that almost hurts the guy giving it as much as it does the guy taking it.
But you know what? When you're a fresh guy and you can tag out, you can endure a little bit of pain if it means causing it on your opponent. Jack Evans now. Let's see if he can do a submission. And yes, he does. Look at that. Causing the neck to bend in an unnatural position with the back of the knee and the leg there while he's stretching the arm. Alex Shelley making sure nobody in the corner of John Walters comes in to break up the hold.
It's a key lock.
Jack Evans now pounding the back of the neck of John Walters.
You know Jack Evans came from the dungeon. You know Jack Evans may be a high flyer, but is very familiar with submission moves.
And a whip in. Oh, Walters levels Jack Evans. This is Walters' opportunity. Can he do it?
And it may be Walters' last opportunity.
You're right about that because he's tired. He's groggy. He's using his last ounce of strength to inch forward towards the hand of someone in his corner. And yes, he gets it. Mark springboards all the way across the ring. What a drop kick. Mark House on fire. He is well rested and he is taking it to Generation Next. A heel kick to Roderick Strong. The tag goes into Jay. We are seeing Briscoe Brothers tag team action at its best. Could it be? A springboard doomsday device connects. It's all over. They've won matches with this cover. Oh, Aries kicks out. Aries just barely got the shoulders up to kick out. Mark now sails to the floor on Roderick Strong. Alex there of Jay, and a dragon screw on the injured knee of Jay Briscoe. All control being lost. And what's he doing? It's a striker lock. He is stealing Matt Striker's hold. Insult to injury to Matt Striker. And Jimmy Ray saves Jay Briscoe, or that could have been it for Jay.
Oh, it would have been it. Jay Briscoe wasn't going anywhere. But Jimmy Rave, now the guy with, as you mentioned earlier, maybe the most on the line.
And there's that crossface. He's made people tap to him. Shelley's fighting it. No, but Ray with those forearms, he's trying to hook it. Not quite. Shelley fighting for his life. And yes, now he's got it cinched. Now he's got it cinched. This could be a tap out right here. Can Shelley make it to the ropes? Can someone make the save? Look, Shelley's close to tapping. He's close. He's struggling. He's fighting the pain. Rave trying to rear back, and no, Shelley makes the ropes.
Shelley.
What hard determination.
Standing enziguri by Shelley, and it's a beauty.
Alex Shelley proving why he's the quarterback, why he's the general of this team. As he's watching his plan go to fruition, he's been talking about it in promos on the last few shows, and now we know what he was talking about. I'm losing my voice calling this action. And there, no, and there's the Shining Wizard. Ray finally connects, but Roderick Strong right there to break it up.
Now Roderick Strong and Jimmy Rave.
I think Hansen's given up on trying to maintain order in this one. Rave avoids that backbreaker and hits one of his own. Now he's going for a left Russian leg sweep. No, Strong holds on, and now Strong takes him up. Oh, beautiful variation of a backbreaker. And now we have Walters and Aries going at it again.
Almost a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and this time the referee being out of position hurts Generation Next.
As we have two factions fighting it out right now. Roderick Strong going at it with Jimmy Rave, and there's a Northern Lights by Walters, but what's Jack Evans doing? Shooting star press! Back suplex on the bridge by Roderick Strong, shooting star press by Mark! Both men connect! And Mark going to the pin cover! Not quite enough.
Both teams now pulling out all the stops.
They've worn each other down. Mark Briscoe challenging Jack Evans in a battle of shooting star presses. Oh, you don't want to do that with Mark. Mark will fight back and hit harder than anybody. Whoa, what an angle on that back suplex. Mark lands right on his head, and he might be out on his feet, but he's scooping Jack up. Oh, cutthroat suplex. That's what pinned Omar Tortuga before. But Mark too injured to make the cover. Someone's got to cover Jack. Mark Briscoe might be a non-factor. Jack Evans will be a non-factor. And we have a Jay Driller attempt. No, Jay could not get him up because of his knee. Jay now trying to get that adrenaline rush. Yes, he's fighting back, using his last-ditch effort. Jay Driller, that puts them all down. And Roderick Strong rolls to the outside. 450 by Austin Aries on Jay Briscoe. If he can cover him, he's going to win. The 450 pin special K earlier. Aries, though, he's too stunned, too groggy, too tired. Now he makes the cover. This is it. Here it is. Walter saving the day for his team, saving Jay Briscoe. And now we have Walters with the injured neck against Austin Aries. Oh, Walters cuts off Aries. Everyone going for their high impact move. All men are worn down and tired. Oh, he dumps Aries. He wasn't able to hit it the way he wanted because of that injured neck. But Aries is still out. Turns him over, cover. This is it. Jack Evans with the save.
Both teams have had opportunities to win this match. Both times their opponent has been saved. You're going to have to isolate somebody, especially if you want to try to do it with a submission move.
And look at Walters. He was pointing at the neck. He's definitely suffered a serious injury. If he's having Hansen look at the neck like that, Walters might have to be gone. And Jack Evans takes out everyone on the floor with a springboard 450.
Well, that's how you get everything isolated.
And Shelley there goes right to the neck, drapes it across that top rope, which is just a steel cable. Double boot to the back of the neck. And now he's got the Border City stretch. That applies all the pressure on the neck. He's made many him off. The Briscoes are down on the floor. Walters needs to make the ropes. It's his only chance. No, he tries to roll out. But Shelley still has the Border City stretch. He still has it cinched, and Walters taps. It's all over. Alex Shelley, ranked number 3, just made John Walters tap, who's ranked number 5. The crowd on their feet in Philadelphia. Generation Next has established themselves as a force to watch here in Ring of Honor.
Be a man! Be a fucking man! You want to act hard? You come in second, I will beat you. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man.
scheduled to be This is scheduled to be a verbal confrontation. I expect that it's going to stay that way. Mr. Steamboat, I'm not sure which of you want to begin on this verbal.
There isn't a man alive or a man here today that doesn't want to capture eternity. Every single person here wants to be remembered for something. They want to be remembered for the rest of their life. What you're about to be remembered for is me kicking your ass if you don't shut your mouth. Every single man on planet Earth wants to be idolized and remembered, even when they're dead and gone. They want to be remembered for the accolades and the achievements that they made when they were here, when they were alive. So here we have Ricky Steamboat. The Dragon, former world NWA heavyweight champion, 5-time tag team champion, former US champion, former intercontinental champion, and who can forget Ricky? Who can forget 93,000 5,000 people in the Silverdome, you and Randy Savage tearing down the house. Who can forget the legendary matches with Ric Flair? The legendary matches with Steve Austin. Everything you did, you made something special out of it, didn't you? Except there's one problem. That was then, and this is now. And you know, Ricky, I really couldn't tell. You really haven't changed. You look good. The only difference, obviously, is the gray hair. You aged well. I could never tell that you were 115 when you walked in the first time back in New Jersey. Couldn't tell. The gray hair, you just look more distinguished, right? Except for that gigantic bald spot in the back of your head there. Yeah, so everybody wants to be remembered for something special. Everything you did was great, Ricky, but the key word is was. It's all past tense, because this is 2004, and this is Ring of Honor, and my name is CM Punk.
Ricky wants an opportunity to respond.
You know something, CM, in everybody's athletic career, they always try to make a statement, find that moment in which they can make it into the history books. I was very fortunate throughout my career to maybe do it several times with the guys that I was able to wrestle with. Make that statement and make it into the history books. From New Jersey, St. Paul, Boston, and now tonight in Philly, the city of brotherly love. You want to take over 20 years that it took me to build those special moments in history and capture it in one night tonight like you try to do in those other cities. Well, I'm telling you this tonight in the city of brotherly love. No more love, brother. The Dragons come here to tell you this. Either shut it up, put it up. I've come here to fight you tonight.
You stand for, everything about you in your 20-year career, I could take it like that. But not tonight, Ricky, because you're right. This is a city of brotherly love, and this is Ring of Honor. And when it comes down to it, I do respect you. And the last thing I want to do is fight you. How sincere I am. This is Ring of Honor. I'm going to shake your hand.
I'ma say it just like Ali did.
Challenger, accompanied by Julius the Devil Son-in-Law Smokes, weighing in at 220 pounds from Brooklyn, New York. He is the notorious 187 Homicide. And his opponent, weighing in at 270 pounds from American Samoa. He is the current
We're underway already. Big backdrop and the mess of streamers in there. The band saluting Samoa Joe with that barrage of streamers, and it's not stopping this match from getting underway in a hurry. Must be a winner. World title match. Homicide, the challenger, the champion Samoa Joe, and Joe just takes Homicide and his manager Julius Smokes off their feet.
Who had less than 60 seconds for when Julius Smokes would get physically involved as they desperately try to get these streamers out of the ring.
Julius, oh, Joe sails over with a tope. So much hatred between these two. So many issues. This is all that you can expect from a match like this. And right now, Joe, it looks like he's going to make Julius Smokes a non-factor in the early going. Julius Smokes shocking us all by interfering in the Spanky match last week in Boston. What a great match that was, and it's ole ole time already. And Homicide cuts off Joe and gives a finger to the crowd. The new Homicide. The Homicide. He's more dangerous than ever. He has snapped.
The fullback comes from the offside.
And look at that, a reversal, and it backfired on the Rottweilers of Smokes and Homicide. And there's the ole kick on Julius Smokes, and he's going into convulsions.
Well, actually a pretty sound strategy by Samoa Joe. The referee wasn't going to be able to stop Julius Smokes from interfering, and there's more of Julius Smokes than I cared to see. But the looks like we may be getting yet another ole kick.
And Homicide cuts him off. This must be a winner match. Very relaxed rules in this one. Anything pretty much goes. As Homicide sees that steel barricade. So much history between these two, so much hatred. It really dates back to 2002. More recently, though, Julius Smokes taken out by Samoa Joe in the locker room. Homicide fireballing Samoa Joe in the face. The lights mysteriously going out. Ricky Reyes, the newest Rottweiler, the man who turned out the lights. And then last week, Homicide pal driving Samoa Joe. Their battles back and forth, and Samoa Joe does have a tweaked injury neck going into this one. Homicide connects with a boot right to the face of Joe. Tries for the knee. Joe just moves out of the way. Nice power slam.
Well, Samoa Joe, 270 pounds, moves like a cruiserweight. And there's a reason that he's been champion for 14 months, which is, of course, the ROH record. And how, I don't know what would be the bigger deal for Homicide, to win the title or to stop the win streak of Samoa Joe.
Previously, Xavier held the title for 6 months. Samoa Joe ended that reign and has gone through everybody from Christopher Daniels to AJ Styles to Paul London to Moff to Whitmer to even Homicide to Doug Williams. The list goes on and on and on. Samoa Joe made it a world title, and he's 14 months strong. If he gets through this one, he could be champion for 15 months. What an incredible feat that would be. Oh, running boot scrape right to the face of Homicide.
And it should be pointed out that Homicide last week won another high-stakes matchup when he beat Spanky.
Homicide definitely has a wave of momentum going, defeating Bryan Danielson and Spanky in 2 excellent matches on consecutive show. And the show previous to that, ROH Reborn Stage 1, he thought he had the belt run from Samoa Joe. When the referee ruled that he indeed kicked out of the 2 count, Homicide snapped and all mayhem broke loose. Joe now going for a superplex.
Chris, you've seen so many of his challengers. Is he biting the ear?
Biting him.
It goes Mike Tyson on him.
And now Homicide just dumping Joe back first on the canvas. That definitely shook Joe up.
Chris, you've seen so many of Samoa Joe's challengers. Is Homicide the most dangerous?
Well, lately he has with this new attitude, and Homicide, before pointing at his neck, signaling he's going to go after Joe's neck, and he's doing just that. I would have to say Homicide might be the most dangerous competitor in Ring of Honor right now.
There's certainly no way to argue that, especially last week when the Rottweilers were putting the beat down on Samoa Joe. The entire locker room empties out to come out to help Samoa Joe, and Homicide literally intimidated the entire locker room.
Nobody would go near him. Homicide saying he had a razor and he'd cut anybody that got in the ring, and with Homicide, you know he's serious about that.
Nobody wanted to call that bluff because they knew it wasn't a bluff.
And now we have a table and a chair in play here. The chair connects right to the head of Samoa Joe. Many people feel that Homicide is actually entering this match as the favorite after his recent battles with Joe, in addition to the fact that Samoa Joe is feeling the effects of being champion for 14 months. That's 14 months of hard matches with Joe not backing down from anyone, and he is physically taking the toll. And he might be right for the picking right here, especially with that injured neck that Homicide is working on. And Joe stops the superplex attempt to the floor through the table, suplexing Homicide into the ring.
Well, and even more importantly, as you see, Samoa Joe almost hurt his own neck as much as Homicide got his neck hurt on that suplex. How much damage was done 3 weeks ago with the fireball that Samoa Joe still feels? How much?
What a headbutt!
These two guys are nuts.
We might have a knockout right here. There must be a winner in this one. Joe with a boot right to the back of Homicide. Oh, you can just feel the hatred between these two.
And the Rottweilers did legitimate damage to Joe's neck last week. Joe's a big, tough guy, and he's not going to back down from a fight. But yes, I do think that gives Homicide an edge.
A chop exchange back and forth. Joe coming back with forearms. Oh, what a slap. And it should be noted, 1 year ago in Philadelphia, do or die, it was Samoa Joe against Homicide as the main event for the world title. Homicide looked like he had the bout won, but he was distracted by Loki and Julius Smokes arguing at ringside. Not 11 months later, Homicide gets the rematch in St. Paul. Reborn stage 1. Thinks he has the title won. Ruled that he doesn't. He snaps, goes insane. And now a year later here in Philadelphia, 12 months after the initial meeting at Do or Die for the world title, we have the rematch once again, and there must be a winner.
And if Samoa Joe can keep Homicide in the middle of the ring, there's an interesting stretch.
We got a dragon sleeper, almost a variation of it combined there, stretching the torso of Homicide, and you see the pain on Homicide's face. And Joe now trying to grab the legs. Julius Smokes shouting encouragement to Homicide.
If there is another reason to favor Homicide here, it is the fact that this is a must-be-a-winner, and as you like to put it, Chris, a relaxed rules match. The more the match is fought outside the ring, the more this match is fought in Homicide's turf.
Joe now, he's got Homicide down. Let's see what he can follow up with. He's scooping Homicide up. Maybe that island driver, that beat Ricky Reyes. No. And there's an enziguri. Joe goes to the floor. Homicide now hits the ropes. And nobody home on that tope con hilo. Homicide had too much momentum. He flew over the head of Samoa Joe and went through the table. What a crash and burn. That could be it for Homicide. I don't expect this to be a long match with the rate that these two are going, and that could definitely knock him down for good. Homicide screaming about his back.
Well, Homicide has made it clear he will do anything to try to beat the title, try to beat Samoa Joe and win the title, and that includes sacrificing his own body.
Joe just suplexing him on the rubble of that table. Joe showing absolutely no mercy in this one. Just like CM Punk just did to Ricky Steamboat, coming off the top rope of that ring bell across the throat of Ricky Steamboat, who's being rushed to the hospital right now. Oh, and Joe drives Homicide into the steel right there. And it should be noted that CM Punk has definitely been paying attention to his history as he took care of Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage style, just like Savage did before WrestleMania 3. But back to the matter at hand, Joe Homicide, world title match.
Samoa Joe needs to grow some eyes in the back of his head. Julius Smokes is somewhere in this vicinity.
And we've seen, and there's Julius Smokes with a chair. No, no. And Todd Sinclair warning him, telling him not to do it.
Knock it off! Knock it off!
And now it's Julius Smokes threatening again.
Hands off!
But Homicide, what's he doing? He seems bruised and battered. Perhaps Smokes just trying to buy some time for Homicide.
Using the water to try to refresh himself.
Well, Smokes, oh, and there's the chair by Homicide. Smokes and Homicide, they have proved that they can come up with cunning schemes. They did that when the lights went out in St. Paul. The Havana Pitbulls, Rocky Romero and Ricky Reyes, now part of the Rottweilers. And Homicide has a fork. And he forks Joe right in the forehead.
Knock it off!
Homicide will do anything that it takes. And he is driving that ghetto fork right into the forehead of Samoa Joe. I saw Homicide with that fork earlier tonight. He was scraping it against a brick wall to sharpen the spokes on it. That is an extra sharp fork right there.
Abdullah the Butcher won many a titles with a fork just like that.
And I can't believe it. Samoa Joe is busted open. The ROH World Champion has never been busted open before. We have seen Samoa Joe in some brutal matches. We have never seen him bleed. And he is pouring blood out of his forehead right now.
And look at Homicide. Homicide enjoying the blood. He rubs Samoa Joe's blood over his own forehead.
Oh, this is just plain sick. Anything goes. Relaxed rules. There must be a winner. And that fork is being driven into the forehead of Samoa Joe.
This is just barbaric.
The blood is trickling from the world champion for the very first time. Todd Sinclair admonishing Homicide, but there's not much he can do. Julius Smokes John with the ringside fans. This Rottweiler camp has snapped. They are so dangerous, there's no telling what they'll do. A chair right to the head of Joe and the champion's down.
If Homicide would quit arguing with the referee, he could pin Samoa Joe right now.
And now he's signaling, here it is. No, Joe kicks out. It's going to take more than that to defeat Samoa Joe and end this 14-month reign.
Homicide now using his knuckles to pummel that cut. Open that cut even deeper.
Homicide, he was ROH's MVP arguably in 2003 with one show-stealing match after another. He's kept the trend going in 2004 with big victories over the likes of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Spanky. Let's see if he can finally realize his dream and become world champion as Smokes chokes Joe out.
Homicide and Julius Smokes playing Divide and Conquer with the referee.
I would never thought I would see the day when Julius Smokes would break the code of honor and interfere in matches, but that day has come as the Rottweilers have snapped. Homicide with a chop. He's making his way up. Spinning DDT. Cover! No, not enough. But look at Joe trying to massage the back of his neck there. Obviously his neck bothering him, and the neck can definitely lead to victory. We saw that in that 8-man tag with John Walters and Alex Shelley. The neck, the most sensitive part on the body.
And that's
oh, we got an exchange of slaps, and Joe is definitely staggered. Hard chop.
Homicide just measuring him. Now Homicide really starting to take his time. It's going to be a methodical approach as he's just going to dismantle the ROH champion.
And once again, Homicide letting the fans get to him. I can't believe it. These fans have supported Homicide for years, and now he doesn't want to hear their cheers anymore. What's going on inside this man's head? Homicide stopping Joe.
Samoa Joe pulls a desperation move out of the hat.
As Homicide gets planted with that sidewalk slam. Can Joe follow up though? Joe looks fired up. Levels Homicide with those kicks. Scoops him up. Plants him again with that powerbomb cover. 2 count. Oh, into a grab, and look at that. Joe seated down on Homicide, wrenching that lower back. And if Homicide's back was injured before from that missed tope con hilo, it's an excruciating pain right now.
And notice the way that Samoa Joe was up on the thighs with the crab as opposed to the ankles.
Extra leverage there, but Homicide fighting out with those kicks from his heel. Homicide into the corner now. Up. No, Joe catches him. Running Death Valley driver.
Oh, I thought he had him. I thought he had him.
How did Homicide kick out of that? As you see the blood continuing to trickle from the forehead of Samoa Joe. Homicide taking a lot of headshots right now.
Now Samoa Joe wants to climb the ropes.
You usually don't see Samoa Joe. Oh no, you do see Samoa Joe go for this, and when he does, it's the muscle buster. He's got Homicide hooked. If he connects, it's all over. This is how he beat Homicide at Do or Die 1 year ago. No, Homicide fights back with the headbutts. He's going up now. Joe struggling. Homicide struggling. Who's going to win out here? He's got him hooked again with the muscle buster. No. The struggle continues. Once again, he's got him up. No. Homicide turns it over and brings Joe down face first. Homicide's up. There's that lariat that pinned Danielson and Spanky. Oh, just a 2 count.
We may have St. Paul all over again because I think Homicide thought he got the 3.
I cannot believe Joe kicked out. That lariat has pinned Bryan Danielson and Spanky on the last 2 shows, and Joe got out. Homicide signaling's all over, but look, he is bruised. He's getting that glassy eye, that glassy look in his eyes right now of being knocked out. Oh no, he could be going, no, Joe reverses it, slams Homicide again. Another high impact move by Samoa Joe. Julius Smokes, he's looking concerned. I see a glassy look in the eyes of Homicide, but Homicide stops him. Backdrop driver on the neck of Joe. And now he's got him up. Traditional pile driver, all impact on the neck. Cover, new champion. No, Joe kicks out somehow.
How does Joe do it?
This is what has made the man Ring of Honor world champion for 14 months.
Hey, and I'm the drink, son.
At some point, Homicide's going to start getting frustrated. He's hit him with his lariat. He's hit him with drivers. He's hit him with pile drivers, and has not been able to put him away.
But look at that look, Mark. Look at the look in Homicide's eyes. His eyes are glassed over. Perhaps from those headbutts earlier. Perhaps from being dropped on his head earlier. Perhaps from that doink on Hilo. If not from those, definitely those slaps. Joe scooping Homicide up right now. No. The Island Driver attempt, no good. Hangman's neck breaker. All impact on the neck. Oh, Homicide choosing not to go for the pin. Instead, he's going for that STF. Let's see if he can cinch the fingers here. He has to in order to get full impact. Yes, he does.
He's got it cinched, but he doesn't have, there it is. It gets it under the throat, but he still doesn't have it cinched.
No, he does not have the move in full effect. As Joe trying to struggle out of it, Homicide definitely does not have it cinched. And he's going for that fourth. He's got the,
This is just barbaric. I don't care if this is a no rules match or not.
And that fork stabbing Samoa Joe, and you saw the fork actually puncturing the flesh of Samoa Joe. And yes, he is busted open again. The blood flow starting with those new wounds on the forehead.
The referee has confiscated the fork.
And Homicide trying to intimidate him. Julius Smokes grabbing the foot of Joe. Joe shaking off Smokes. Joe slapping Homicide. He's fired up. Has him up. Island Driver. This been Ricky Reyes last week. Cover. Oh, how did Homicide kick?
And this time, it's Samoa Joe that's frustrated as he just knew he had Homicide put away.
The world champion busted open for the very first time. Both men groggy, both men tired. Homicide, a glassy look in his eyes. He might be out after that Island Driver. Oh no, he might be out. Joe might be one move away from the win. One more high impact move on the head might be it. Joe now scooping up Homicide. Homicide fights out of it. Yes. Lariat to the back of the head. Keeps signaling for the cop killer. If he hits it, it's all over. No, Joe stops him. Suplex, but Homicide lands on his feet, but gets in with a lariat. Cover!
Again, he gets a 2.
How is Homicide doing it? I think Homicide is out on his feet, but he still manages to kick out time and time again. Joe has him hooked. He's signaling this is it. Has him up. Spikes him on his head with that brain buster. Cover!
And he gets him.
Does it.
Samoa Joe, I'm not sure if he wins or if he survives.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. The high impact move, the brain buster, it was the move that Joe needed. Maybe not the most spectacular move, but it was hard hitting, and it connected right on the injured head of Homicide. Another blow on the groggy, injured, glassy-eyed head of Homicide, and he's out. Samoa Joe, he beat all the odds. Everyone was against him. Homicide was considered the favorite, and Samoa Joe will now walk into his 15th month as ROH World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, for Mark Nolte, I'm Chris Lovey. ROH's summer schedule is just heating up. Check ROHWrestling.com for all the details. What a night we've witnessed here in Philadelphia.
You guys ready to cut this promo?
You ready?
Let's do this thing.
Danny?
What happened out there? Why don't you tell me what happened out there? You know something, Whitmer? I don't have the time or the energy to deal with your silly ass right now. As much as I want to kick your ass, yeah, that got your attention, right? You big son of a bitch. Yeah, that got your attention, right? What happened out there? Where were you? I'll tell you where you were. You weren't there. You weren't there. I'm not talking behind your back. I'm telling you right to your ugly mug. You weren't there. I'm gonna give this prophecy thing one last shot. One last shot. Y'all don't pull this together, I think it's time to just cancel this whole thing.
What?
Just end this whole prophecy thing. Get out of my freaking way.
No, Danny.
What are you talking about?
Danny, come on.
That's it.
What the? Why are you still here? Go away. There's no promo for you now.
It's his head. It's his head. Don't worry about it.
Get it back to the ring. Get it back to the ring. Homicide has snapped again. The crowd showing their appreciation of Homicide. They're showing that they still love Homicide. They appreciate him, but he doesn't care. Oh, what happened when we were off air was just unbelievable.
You all make me fucking disgusted.
I can't believe what Homicide's saying.
All of you, I do not need your fucking tears. The breakdown is fucking here.
Homicide has snapped. This crowd still refuses to boo him after all he's done over the years, and it's just making Homicide more insane. What's he doing? He's tearing up the ringside area. Homicide has gone insane. The demon has risen, and he's just destroying everything in sight. He's going after the camera guy now. No one is safe. The demonic Homicide has emerged. Security is running. Everyone's running. He's going after the pillar that's holding up the tent. Nobody is safe. Let's get out of here. I can't believe it. Homicide going after everyone in sight. The demon has risen. Homicide has snapped. He's going after the pillars. Evacuate. Evacuate.